Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another day of LPL. I'll be with you shortly. And good evening to you.
欢迎来到2025英雄联盟职业联赛第3赛段，今天的比赛将在北京 JDG 主场进行，让我们有请双方对阵战队。首先欢迎 Invictus Gaming 上单 The Shy 打野 V 中单 Rookie 下路 Gala 辅助 Mako。接下来让我们欢迎北京 JDG 上单小徐打野勋中单 Scott 下路 Haze 辅助 Wink。LPL 第3赛段小组赛第2周第4日的第1场比赛，由 IG 对阵北京 JDG 即将开始。LPL 无畏进巅峰。
Hello, greetings, good morning, evening, afternoon, regardless of what time zone you're in. I hope you're having a good time of day, wherever you're at. My name's Nymaera. We'll be joined by Initialise shortly. He's just taking the bins out. JDG, IG first series today. Absolute banger. Let's get ready for it. This will be in Beijing. JDG's first series of the split after a collapse, I think it's fair to say, in the last playoffs. Bombed out, losing very unexpectedly against Team WE in last playoffs. And on the other side, IG, they were the team that ended up finishing above them because of course they beat WE. Ended their kind of, I'm not going to call it miracle run, but you know what I mean, that kind of unexpected upstart split and playoffs run for themselves. JDG have made some changes. Ala and missing, no longer on the roster. Xiao Shu coming into top lane and Wink coming in to support. Wink, of course, was playing on IG not too long ago. And JDG, you know, Shun's smile is beautiful, isn't it? Shun, it's so hard to be sad when he's around. He's such a lovely individual. Ran into him in the hotel the LPL players were using in 2023 summer split finals, the regional finals and the finals. Shun was really just he's got a very pleasant vibe about him. And Kazel actually hinting about this in Onivia's chat as well. Wink on the side of JDG used to be AD carry for IG as well. He was a Draven player because for some reason every player that goes through the halls of IG ends up being a Draven player. Okay, I think TikTok's working as well. Raph, do you know the music? Gwen, permaband on the patch. Oh, you know what, I'll turn the camera on as well, why not? No Talir, very common first pick. Rumble is available, Varus just gone. Annie, Wukong, two powerful picks right now. Imagine they're looked at for first picks. D-ban away one of them. JDG, we haven't seen them on stage. We don't know if they have different priorities. And of course, by the way, folks, JDG, new coach as well. You see him on stage there. Clearlove. Clearlove now coaching for JDG. Scouts and Clearlove, EDG icons now under the halls of Jingdong Gaming. And Azir, first pick. So powerful. And I'm not going to lie, Scout's Azir is terrifying too. He's very good at using it in a macro sense to get access to side lane outer towers. I mention it a lot when he plays this champion specifically because he's so powerful. In that sense. No more 1v1s, no Uipo. We've done away with 1v1s. They took a little too long, especially in the 3 series days. It would end up adding an hour and a half onto the whole day, which is a bit much. If it was League of Legends Hall of Fame's caster version, who would I pick? Monte Cristo, 100%. I think that guy is an absolute legend, and is very unique in what he ended up doing. Been there since the start, he's fantastic. Getting into second pass of the draft, Rumble was also available, so Azir for the Rumble trade. Locking in the Trundle. I don't like this business of blind picking Trundle. Yes, Kanavi did it and ended up getting a pentakill. You are not going to have Kanavi pentakills on Trundle in every single goddamn game. If Azir, we have Bring Your Daughter to Work Day now as well, as Sivir and Azir locked in. The Shuriman Ancestry duo locked in. Alistar there too, which is great because the Sivir kind of just wins the lane passively for the Alistar. Alistar doesn't need to worry about his bad level 1-2. Well, it's level 1 really, because Sivir just ricochets the wave and you don't really need to do that much at that level really.
However, we have immediately got Trundle value, Alex.
Yeah.
Killer the Sivir. She can't run away from that.
You're actually not wrong. There is something to that. Silas locked in now for rookie. Very aggressive top side of the map from IG. There's Sam, by the way. Hello. Yeah. But the scaling damage from JDG already is nuts. The range is nuts. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing... I need to stop saying that. I'm looking forward to, or I'm excited to see what they'll do. Yeah, both sides of the map kind of contested now. Bot lane for JDG, top side for IG. Poppy banned away by IG, interestingly. Poppy Azir is quite a fun duo. So, good one to do away with that. What should Shin be thinking about here?
I think the thing is, he's got to pick up probably an AD skirmish, but it's got to be into Trundle, and that's,
yeah,
I think,
exactly.
Look, for all the odd drafts where Trundle gets like S tier value, one of the things is in a lot of the 1v1s, a lot of the jungle invaders, not much in the AD pool that deals with Trundle. You can do things historically like Kindred because you can just keep away from him. You
or
can
AP junglers.
Or AP junglers. But again, you've gone for Azir, and AP junglers right now are very niche again. Fated Ashes nerfs, mid lane AD champion nerfs. We are struggling to find good AD options there, so particularly when you are looking at things like Rumbles and Gwen's top sides as well, it's not easy.
Oh, hang on. And I just realised, and I need to keep my mind on this all the time. They already have Silas with an Alistar ult. They already have Silas with an Alistar ult.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this Silas.
Oh, no.
I was thinking, well, you know, low range Silas with an Alistar ult might
just be worth it by itself.
In itself, Silas is and the Azir, of course. We have Macedonian Warfare.
Very true.
Where I'm obligated to say this. Me, I promise I won't talk about the 256-man Macedonian phalanx. Me 3 drinks later. Both of them ult at the same time, and we have the pusher pikes.
Never feed this man coffee.
No. Senna picked up for Gala. It allows you to play that aggressive dive over the top. You're not going to be contesting wave shove against the Sivir in the laning phase, but one of the good things about Sivir laning phases for the opponent is that also Sivir doesn't have kill threat against you that much, even if she pushes into you.
Wukong now locked in as well for Shun, who does love that champion dearly. I think it is very good, and actually arguably one of the better options into Trundle because you've got double interrupts, you can slide away quite easily. So even if you will lose the 1v1, because let's be real, you're a melee champion into Trundle who steals your stats. In fairness, actually a reminder, Wukong gets surprisingly tanky against AD at the very least because his passive gives you quite a lot of armor. Could be a bit annoying. Senna locked in for Gala as well. You've got a Silas Trundle playing towards topside type draft anyway, so Dawning Shadows is kind of your orbital support railgun. I see the value.
Cassante locked into the Trundle. The Rumble, yes, you can deal with that. Stacking the magic resist is very effective. And maybe they just think, look, we want to tank anyway. Even if the Trundle ults the Cassante, we can just E back out or W back out, and hopefully that'll be fine. Of course, a lot of Cassante's tankiness does come from his W damage reduction. Last pick Brawl and round off the draft. Not fantastic engage from IG overall.
Got the big brain out with the Cassante. Press R before Trundle presses R, and you've got no stats to steal. You've used them all already. Actually, what is that interaction? If Cassante presses R first and transmutes his stats,
the problem is
what happens with Subjugate?
What, you just have less stats?
You just have less stats, because I wasn't sure if you... Because the problem is gone at that.
So the problem is, if Trundle ults you and then you ult, then you get the Sejuani effect, where your passive wears off and you go negative, and it's pretty bad.
That was my worry.
So I think JDG have an incredible late game damage scaling team comp. I think that their lanes are fine to good, and I think that IG are going to struggle to find good angles onto a long-range backline with Spell Shield, with Azir ult to peel away some of these aggressive skills and aggressive melees coming into it. That's going to be that first draft. Clearlove on stage, fist bumping for his first game as coach of JDG. So Scouts and Clearlove, EDG legends, joining the JDG conversation and organization in Beijing. Let's get into game one.
All right, folks, here in Beijing, it's JDG's home arena. They were close last split to being a very good team. Had a very good run towards the end of it, but their inconsistencies earlier on really hurt them. Really hurt them. New top laner, of course. Xiaoshu coming on in. Hayes, formerly of Gen G, of course, had a fantastic run with them last year. Looking on a little bit enviously, I have no doubt to in the team's recent success, looking to replicate it here in the LPL, but musing on stories, I have to wait a second or two, because the crowds are going to be given a moment to yell. Ooh, we get the rival chat leaders for JDG. We've got one yelling JDG from the left, and our usual Jing Dong call from the right. JDG's, one of them, chant leaders at least, is notorious for having a very resonant voice. Jing Dong! It's great.
That guy is, again, I just need that guy to just, maybe if I could ever get him screaming out something which I could use for like a sub alert or something like that, that'd be wonderful.
Maybe we just need to like pay
Omar.
Yeah, pay Omar or Iris or so one of our colleagues out in China to go like, yo, Paddy, could you find this man and record this for us? Whoa.
Nymaera!
Oh man, oh.
Could you imagine?
Shivers.
Red side invade from both teams. And Sam, also a bit of a storyline for you as well.
Oh yeah.
This is somewhat before your time casting the LPL. Scout's going to get potentially chomped. Pillar first.
Level 2
if he can get just a chomp onto him, it would have been worth it. Now he's wasted the pillar. That sucks. He doesn't have the frozen domain to potentially
Shun's
do
have to
that.
pull off the red buff.
But he's already taken the Raptors, so it's camp for camp right now. Not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, but red buff obviously super valuable, and I think Shun's just going to have to leave this. And again, red buff on Trundle feels really good. What he'll do here is he'll do, I suspect, Krugs and then red. He might even just go Krugs, do bots, and come back for red just to have the red buff up for as long as possible.
Rookie getting traded back on by Scouts. Nothing really coming of that cross across mid. But yes, that story, which I was going to say, Wink interesting player, Sam. He, not too long ago, was on IG themselves, 2v2.
Arn and Wink, indeed.
And it was Arn and Wink, yeah. And Wink, funnily enough, was for a while also an AD carry player for IG as well. He was a Draven player for IG because everyone on IG was a Draven player. So Wink playing against an organization he spent a lot of time on, several years in fact, will be a unique experience for us as viewers. And it's his first game here on JDG. Xiaoshu, a bit of a different story for him, of course, but his first game for JDG as well, replacing the outgoing Arla. So Arla missing, gone from the roster. JDG, a much changed outfit, and also bringing in that new coach of Clearlove.
Clarity as well. Is it missing on the bench or gone?
They've made the farewell tweets.
Oh, so wow, he's gone. Because, I mean, I know there were some rumors that he might stay on the bench, but that is a big shift, especially because Missing had been at JDG for such a long time and been so good for them over so many years, but had a rough year this time around.
It feels like he's just like part of the furniture in JDG, you know, as in he's just there.
Yeah.
No, this guy was just so accepted as part of JDG. He was part of their was it 4 titles back to back? Yeah, he was there for the 4 titles back to back with the 2 in 2023 and then of course 22 summer as well. Sorry, the 3 back to back. Rookie going in for a harder trade there. Really nice to see the Macedonian Warfare matchup in our first game of the day for Rookie and Scout. Love these two players on these specific champions, and it's a very interactive matchup.
Wait, now coming back mid. Ooh, nice slide from Scout to get behind the abduct, but is now in danger as a result of when the pillar comes on down.
I mean, Wei is really zeroing in on Scout, saying, you are going to trade heavily in this lane. I'm going to make sure I'm here to just disrupt the lane. Now, the thing is, it doesn't deny Scout a wave. It does deny the flash. You've now spent 2 times walking across mid, giving up information, but not getting that much for it. Scout, I don't think, is unhappy. He hasn't died, hasn't dropped CS. He'll still be able to get back into the lane right now. He'll slide across the Nexus to get himself a slightly quicker entry into lane. You do that as a you go back to lane sometimes. And Rookie has himself a Dark Seal, wants to start snowballing, but hasn't quite got that first angle yet.
Not as yet, but again, we know what this man can do, and I think Rookie in general has been on very good form at the start of the split. We had some inconsistencies, I think, from him in winter particularly, but in spring as well, where we'd see fantastic games for Rookies and very perplexing ones. The moment we speak about that, Shun looking to return the favor that Wei put down. Fair amount of damage onto Rookie, who has to flash away from the soldiers coming careening for his face, so ends up losing most of his health bar there, and the summoner spell.
So both junglers now finding their way into mid lane. Scout picking up that recurve bow first, gives him a lot of extra DPS with the soldier's base damage and the lethal tempo as well. IG slight laning leads right now in terms of the individual gold lead. Actually, comes from jungle matchup, but Equalizer pulled topside.
It is indeed. The Shy trying to get this one shoved out. Actually, very good work there from Xiaoshu, who can now look for more. Still got all out to work with the Shy. Sidestepping well, yet to blow the flash. Flash now blown from Xiaoshu. I think the Shy is just dead. Still has a flash to go. We've got hit by the slow. Phase, not phase rush, just a little bit of Nimbus cloak. That's where he was getting that speed up from alongside the scrap shield. Either way, gets out of live trades, flash for flash and ult for ult.
Shy trying to get that wave pushed in. Xiaoshu was always a bit of a Cassante merchant. Good player of the champion. And for those of you who know our top teams in the LPL, but maybe don't pay as much attention to our mid and bot table teams, Xiaoshu was a mainstay as a good top laner in the middle to bottom tier of LPL pack of the top laners, really. This guy has been, much like many LPL top laners, someone who loves to play a bit of a duelist. He was very good on Cassante in the last few years as well, playing trade on the likes of Rare Atom. Potential dive on bot side, Pays staying for the extra auto attack, might cost him here.
Frozen Domain comes down, Pillar comes on top, but of course it is a Sivir. You're going to have to flash over those, and look who's waiting. Maker was there, hits him with a passive head injury assessment required as the concussive blows are stacked. Wink now in danger, also hit with that passive. Shun tries to force Scala away, but now he's gone very deep. Xiaoshu's roaming down the lane. Wink headbutting away onto Wei. Actually, Ogby keeps him alive. The
Last Embrace.
That's the one. Thank you very much. Came on through. It's going to go Steadfast Presence. It's like, no, that's Poppy. And I ended up pausing my play-by-play just briefly. Record stutter there, but we're all right. Fortunately, there's a second caster to fill in the gaps.
Shun, over-aggressive, loses his flash quite unnecessarily there, as Pays stays for an auto attack too long. Got teleports Coming out from Spellbook Spite now, potentially. Wink's armed and ready with his. Mako can use his to get across the map too, next time of asking. And IG get themselves first blood onto FaZe's Sivir. Now, this time, start of the year, start of the split, when we came into it, when we were talking about JDG roster changes, much like we've been doing now in their first game. Earlier in the year, we were talking about FaZe. FaZe coming over from Gen G, the crazy dominant team of last year. Of course, continues to be crazy dominant into this year too. And FaZe has been a very good addition to JDG, considering the outgoing ruler. Not many people can fill shoes like that. FaZe, do I think he's completely filled them? No, but I do think he has put in a hell of a lot of work here for JDG. He is often required to have good pack carry performances for JDG to show their peak. Dying there will not help.
Of course, you can see Shun coming on up now. Has got level 6 to work with Pillar. Comes now the bottle rocket up. Maybe trying to find some value back onto Rookie. We've seen a lot of people overstay around Grubs. You only need 2.
Which ult is Rookie going to steal? Alistar ult, Azir ult, both prime candidates here.
Kong potentially, I suppose, as well, if he feels the need for the Cyclone. Couple decent options. Alistar, obviously, we know, being very, very strong. 1200 HP on the second grab. Shun like he's going to smite that one away. Does do so. Actually, no, he messed it up. It was early. IG get 2 and are happy to back off.
Okay, so IG, Wei ends up getting that. Oh, Q. I'm gonna go on. So Wei will not be able to. Yeah, Wei will not be able to. Rather, Mako will not be able to get the third. But IG getting 2 grubs is nice for them. Stops. I mean, it stops Azir from being as powerful in that side lane, which we talked about in draft being so powerful. FaZe gets caught out by a good pillar. Doesn't have cleanse, is running the barrier instead. Gets hit by that Braum passive, and it's pretty much lights out from there. I was surprised that Shun thought he could go for a turnaround play here. Goes immediately in to get Braum passived, and then gets damaged. I suppose he thinks maybe they can buy time with flash combos. Wink messed up the combo. If that combo comes through, I mean,
Wei's dead, yeah.
There's a world in which Xiaoshu can clean up. So, awkward play there from Wink against his former team.
See what they can do with that. Either way, slightly unfortunate. JDG end up being down only the 1 kill. It could have gotten a lot worse there. Early grubs to IG. Gold leads there, but it's only a couple hundreds. Really leading to all that much as it stands. Decent lead for Scout in the mid lane, but again, Azir into the Sylas can get a little bit miserable for the Sylas at a certain point. Of course, Rookie did have to have his flash blown, which kind of mitigated all of the advantage and pressure he did have a little earlier on.
When's the next big fight? Dragons up. Wei can take that as the Trundle. Do JDG want to contest it? Yet to see Sylas get involved too heavily with the skirmishes. Had a couple of plays through his lane. I am very worried for JDG that Rookie's first ult of the game is going to be something like that Alistar ult, and they're going to
cry a bit.
Really underestimate that. You know, Sylas with an Alistar ult is just not fair. It's just not a fair champion. Turns out being able to get like an extra 2 Ws through your rotation is not really what the champion was balanced around. IG using their 2 grubs now for Senna to push in on that bot side of the map. We'll get that first plate. And Xiaoshu can't really stop Senna from hitting plates.
I remember when plates first came out, and it was kind of just as Aphelios was releasing, just as Senna was releasing. And one of the issues we used to see, the likes of Double Lip try and play the Senna, one of the reasons why he was struggling on the Senna was because you couldn't trade in the lane swaps for plates very well. Senna was just an awful plate taker.
That is such a dick move. Ends up body blocking both Rumble E's to make sure the cannon doesn't get taken by the Shy. Contest over the Raptors, Shun will take those, and even-ish early game. JDG down a little bit of gold. They'll really want to pick up some value for this Azir soon, once he starts cresting that first item and can start again pushing waves more effectively, hitting towers more effectively. Low health Xiaoshu. Is he going to get full dived?
Not, dude. Takes an auto Q for the soul. And they go. Mako looking to get the pass down and does so. W comes on for Glacier Fish just wide, but I think he still just dies. The piercing darkness will headshot Cassante. Nice dive from Invictus Gaming.
Very clean. And that was as well as Xiaoshu could have played that too. He ends up getting the W damage reduction onto the Braum passive, and also getting the technically unstoppable nature of that too. Teleport back in, but this turret is still it's just gonna go down. Here comes Azir.
Oh boy, Scout is here. The shuffle away, but still hit by the last embrace. Doesn't really get to go all that far. Wave flashing on out. Mako's TP'd back in. Won't lead to all that much. Curse. The black mist comes down from Garlet. Dead men tell no tale.
I just realized the problem with that play from IG. Like, wow, no, IG can just kill the tower and kill him into your right. Azir could have put up another turret in its stead by right-clicking it with the passive. Any other mid laner probably would have died there. Scout saves the turrets. will immediately back off because he's afraid of a redive. Doesn't die in that initial attempt.
Second kill though for Gala, who is feeling very pleased here. And again, a center that gets to brawl early is a center with more souls early, and that is nice work. On about 38 or so here.
That's really good.
For 12 minutes in. Again, it used to be about 70 at 20 as it stands. It's been a lot lower than that since the nerfs, but right now Gala on a good clip.
So this is because this is farming center, not fasting center, so it does change because you actually are trying to, you pick up less souls when you're actually taking the minions. Before MSI, I think at 20 minutes you were thinking around about 60 in pro play, because you're not able to get at optimal stats because you do need to move in relation to your team. However, at MSI it dropped a little bit down to about 55 to 50 because the percent drop rate did drop a little bit more. So if you end up getting, he's got 42 already.
He's just fought a lot. Double kills early.
He's fought a lot. He's ended up roaming around the map and picking up big waves. Now he has the Shiv, which will give him instant wave clear to just push, roam, get more souls, and get more chance to hit things. Gala, who had a lot of criticism in their first series versus Top Esports, that Corky game in Game 3 will haunt him.
It wasn't great.
It was game losing. If he can have a good game here on the center versus JDG, perhaps he can start to rectify some of those wrongs. Had a great series just the other day versus Team WE. His Kaiser, of course, was legendary in that game.
Of course, you then look at the other side, it's Pays, right, who I think for many people was MVP AD carry last split, right up there. He was really good.
I think I put him on my MVP list as well. Not that we get MVP votes, but
we were invited to certainly contribute to the LPL English one, which was really cool.
Yeah, and I put Pays as, I think, second MVP because of his clutch nature in those games and good team fighting. JDG were looking like a top team just before playoffs, and they were for bits of playoffs, and then they got dunked down a couple of times, and the story ended a lot earlier than they would have liked to, especially because playoffs was on their stage as well in Beijing. It was a bit of a dishonorable exit.
It was a bit. Hayes can feel a bit frustrated by that. I think Scout in particular had a mare of the playoffs. It just wasn't what we expected from that player at all. Now looking to come and rectify things here in summer.
Yeah, and I think Shun can't escape that criticism either. However, I will say I expect great things of these players while we do level criticism at them. It's not like we expect them to say it that way. These players are well-versed in excellence, and actually one of the big reasons why they were in playoffs in general was because of Shun's clutch early pathing and his clutch playmaking alongside Pays as the aforementioned AD carry of JDG. IG, I mean, I wouldn't have penciled in IG as a better performing team than JDG in that last split, but they somehow managed that in the playoffs. Shun now has Cyclone, first item, ready to fight. We do have Herald and Dragon Spawn at the same time, so some macro shenanigans shall ensue.
Indeed, actually, a bit of an engaged topside Rookie, going to go for the Macedonian Phalanx! There we go, Rookie goes in. It's a flash blown though alongside the ult, so Rookie comes out slightly worse for wear.
Tell me you're a fan of Rome Total War without telling me you're a fan of Rome Total War. Scout, does he have his E cooldown? I don't think he does. There's a problem now.
It's a long cooldown at this point. Now has to flash, Abductus wide, and that'll be a trade back, but now Mako getting traded on by the 4-man unit. Gala flashes away from the engagement wing, throws down the Dawning Shadow. Equalizer comes down, Glacial Fissure also there, ice and fire everywhere. George R.R. Mountain couldn't finish that book, I don't think either. All the while, Xiaoshu going to get some value out as the spike comes on down and no one dies.
IG's defense in that mid lane put out so much more damage than I was expecting. The first item spike gives so much AoE damage from the Shiv proccing from the center, from the, of course, the Leandri's equalizer, and IG, despite not getting that much out of the play, will end up getting themselves the Herald off of it due to just the crazy amount of turnaround burst they had. I for sure thought they were going to be losing in that mid lane play because of the Wukong one item Cyclone. Doesn't end up that way though.
Gets them beats of strength as well because that's their third objective. And the upgraded boots cost them a fair amount of summoners there. Gala down both, Maker's down his flash, not been exactly for free.
And the more I watch this game, the more I watch these kind of early skirmishes, the more I am reminded of the last time that these two teams played, it was absolute cinema. Both series between JDG and IG last split were top-notch entertainment fests with the game 3 of their first matchup in the regular season. Last split had 2 Baron steals into a Nexus to Nexus. I've never seen anything like it. Of course, IG, one of the big reasons they won that game was JJ in the jungle for them. Way now playing for the team. He played well, I think, in their first 2 series. Well, Pays might have this flash forced hit.
Got slowed by the piercing darkness. Good spell shield on the chop.
Walked a little close to the wall there, meant that he was forced to flash. could kind of minion blocked away from the wall, you know, like the Anivia thing completely cutting off one direction to walk. Dragon now going to get started. No flash for Paze will make the team fights harder. Make a quartz.
Throws up the Unbreakable, will be more than okay as it stands. Got a Ghost and a Heal to work with here, courtesy of Spellbook. 1500 HP, Dragon secured. Couple souls that God would love to get, but I don't know if it's going to get time. Glacier Fisher comes on down, Shun looking. Close down the Warrior Trickster, won't quite find it. Curse the Black Mist now from Gala. Continue to get some Piercing Darkness through everyone. Rookie is TP'd in. What angle will he find? Equalize out into Shy in the backline. Onto Paze, he's got no flash, because there goes Rookie. Got the Alistair ult as well. Unbreakable Will comes on forwards. Shun can't find anything. Wink will headbutt Rookie away, but the Abduct lands onto Scouts. Unfortunately, my Emperor, there's a few people who'd like to sell you for some ransom. Rookie goes forwards again, kills off the Alistair. Scout slides into the backline and brings down Gala, but that is the lone win JDG find. It's an ace and Dragon for Invictus Gaming.
IG stomp home the early game fight, winning the Dragon and getting the bot lane skirmish in their favor. Silas with the Alistair ult comes to play, and JDG don't have a good enough disengage option. They're going to lose some camps. They're going to lose a wave or two in mid lane too. Can we actually kill the whole turret here? I mean, Trump Trundle is really good at killing towers. They just take up the straight up, take the mid lane out of turret. IG, huge win for them.
And now we find ourselves 5k ahead, and we can look at this replay again because they're late to the Dragon and JDG still can't find anything.
Mako has been playing the disengage of these fights really, really well. These are all fights, though, that JDG are choosing. They're choosing the fights, and they're losing. Paze got massively damaged by the Shy at the start of the fight. The solo laners of Invictus Gaming fame destroying the Sivir, but she doesn't have the items to stand and fight yet, especially not against the Silas with the Alistair ult, as we've mentioned before. Scout gets one back in the play, but it just feels so little compared to what they just lost.
Gala will eventually die. Scout goes sliding forwards and manages to at least get one back. Gets the shutdown as well, and that's lovely and all, but it is a very minor victory when the game state is looking really ugly.
Nigh on 5k advantage now for IG. 2 items for that seller. He's using them well.
This Trundle 1600 gold ahead, puts down a pillar in the choke point, and everyone's just dying. The bonks keep flying. Shun's been blast cone back. Will at least get Gala again, as he did get in there, but the Shy will trade back out. Way throws down the Subjugate to 3 for 1.
Where has this Invictus Gaming been? This is top draw creative skirmishing. JDG are buying into the fights, and IG are better at them. Wonderful first game from IG, going over a 5,000 advantage, and they're continuing to push forwards. Before 20 minutes, crushing the mid lane in a turret. JDG, they wanted a slow, scaling game to allow the Azir and Sivir, the bring your daughter to work day from the Shuriman Emperor, to get damage, to get their range scaling duo ahead. They've not been able to do that at all. This Sivir is now 0-3-1, and someone who was on my MVP shortlist from last split has been crushed out of this game. It's another play where JDG are just not really in position to fight, but they've kind of bought into it anyway. They clump up as 3, they walk into the top side of the map, and the blast code into the back does get Gala killed, but Shun goes down for it.
There you go. Pace says go forth and kill him. I appreciate it. Gets Ricochet back on. And I think probably the problem is now for the Sivir, you're very short range. Yes, your Ricochets can bounce through everyone, but if you're in range to auto someone, you're in range for a Braum Q, a Silas engage, Trundle Pillar, Flame Spitter from a Rumble. It is not an easy game to stand there and deliver, especially if your front line just melts in front of the firepower of Invictus Gaming.
I for one, am just so happy we get another series between JDG and Invictus Gaming. I think last split, this was my favorite series played across the world, that first regular season matchup.
It was so cool.
Not because it was the best gameplay, there were definitely moments where they were lacking, but the sheer entertainment value you cannot deny. And right here again, both teams ready to brawl. IG have just ended up picking up a bigger early game stick and whacking JDG over the head with it.
Atakan started as a known quantity. Mako now body blocking. Not going to be the easiest to get in here. Shun coming on in, teleports flying. We have got ourselves another brawl. Atakan has been beside us some disasters. Rookie on a flank angle with the Unbreakable Will in inventory. It's hijacked for value. Shun trying to get some value, but is rooted up for a little bit. The Equalizer comes on down on top of the Glacial Fissure. Fire and Ice again. And the Wukong is down. Wink in the backline. As Rookie in the 1v3. Will Unbreakable. Sundisk meaning nothing. The Rebel.
The frickin' Alistair, what can they do?
Oh, Paze is gone as well. There's just not enough damage. Flash shot forwards, running away. Can't find anything. It's a triple kill to Gala. They keep looking for more way. Looking for the pillar on the frozen domain. Hunting for a little bit more. Another option. Dead man's blade speed. Found Paze, run. He can't do it. and Invictus Gaming pick up another.
Invictus Gaming will end off a clean ace. All out means nothing. It's just a quick hop, skip, and a jump towards the graveyard as Invictus Gaming crush another fight. This time around, the Atakan Shun, old IG jungler, of course, where he started his career, tried to look for the initial engage and perhaps a smite steal, but all he ended up doing was losing his mobility and getting stuck into that tri-brush into an equalizer. The Shy's equalizer was so disgusting alongside that Dawning Shadow. It'll be a third dragon to make things even worse for JDG. And with a 10,000 gold advantage, IG have just destroyed the fight. Once again, the unbreakable Will Silas has totally ruined these team fights for JDG. They still commit to the contest, knowing that the Alistair ult is on the Silas. I don't think they should ever have looked for a fight here in a million years. He ends up dodging out with the Proto Belt onto the Azir ult. It was short range, very, very closely missed there. We already talked about the choke point, equalizer being a big threat, and then Rookie says, well, I mean, I've got this whole damage reduction thing. He has a Rift Maker too for the extended fight. The Alistair ult means he can take that extended fight. And there is just way too much damage. He gets a million Ws and ends up over half HP after tanking up 3 people.
Gala gets a triple kill, but Rookie just buying up the time of 3 people. What's a Sivir and Azir? You'd expect their DPS check to be pretty damn good. That is just the value of Alistair ult.
And the DPS check was happening just before they hit those second items, realistically. I believe they were just behind that second item. Realistically, they needed those, or maybe that 2.5 to 3 items, realistically. IG, wonderful game from them. Picking the right fights. I think JDG have bought into those fights a bit too much. I'm a little disappointed that JDG have not shown composure and not living up to that age-old adage of discretion is the better part of valor. They would have needed a little bit more of that. Try and survive some of these fights.
Hijacked it again. Rookie's got the unbreakable wall, and they're all under this tier 2. I just don't know how much safety it gives you. The pillar down, equalizer as well. Dawning Shadow. It is Carpets of Doom wherever you get a look. Just need Kiana Jones to go with it. Half HP on the turret. Don't overforce it in the end, actually. JDG managed to hold the line just about, and IG unwilling to fully dive.
Yeah, that equalizer, they're doing so much work. JDG have defender's advantage, where they get there closer to their base, so they can recall, come out with home guards, and regen up. IG 3 minutes until the dragon. And typically, about this time, we'd be thinking about, oh, well, we got to wait until the next dragon. We got to wait for blah, blah, blah to spawn, because most teams across the world have kind of taken the handshake of only fighting around objective spawns. That has not been the case.
No.
Not been the case here. As Invictus Gaming, this is why so many people are in love with this team. And in love with not just the history of these players and how they've done this across the years, but just the gameplay that they're pulling out right now. The top tier skirmishing his way takes a chomp of rare steak.
Shun will be able to Warrior Trickster over the other side of it, and that's fine. Of course, at this point, we probably want to check in on some of those stacks. Rookie has got 10 of them on the Dark Seal. He is the Dark Lord this game. All the while as well, looking over at Gala, 90-odd stacks. He's getting very scary on this center with an Infinity Edge in inventory as well, and Baron started. Here we go again.
All right, JDG, what do you got on you? The Alistair ult has time out of Rookie now. Could hold on to it. Looks for the fight.
Oh, he gets in anyway. All while Scout gets a shuffle back onto the Shy, but it means nothing as Rookie and Mako continue to cause chaos. Havoc in the backline, a chain lash, and more bonks come on through. A triple to the Trundle. It might be a quadra to the Trundle. It's not, as of course Rookie picks up at least one more.
Only Kanavi is allowed to penta on the Troll King. IG won't even need the Baron. They'll break the base. You know what? They might end the whole goddamn game. Trundle is an expert at tower killing, as is Silas when he gets to start ripping through those passages. Clearing the wave. They want the game end.
It's going to be over in 26 minutes. Invictus Gaming are ruthless. Every player smashing in the fight, smashing in the lane, and bring us to a 1-0 start. JDG go back to the drawing board. You have been sucker punched in game 1.
Invictus Gaming have made a habit of beating JDG in dominant fashion, or at least an exciting fashion, in front of their home crowd. JDG will lose their first game of the split in front of their Beijing home crowd, 1-0 to Invictus Gaming.
Hello there, folks.
I
Nymaera
totally didn't
Initialise.
forget to change the volume as we went into game, and no one talked about it in chat, so I'm going to assume that it was fine.
Fine, yeah. I've got Nymaera on my other side as well. This is my younger brother. And we cast League of Legends together. We are indeed siblings. We've been doing this together for a little while, and somehow we've avoided bickering ourselves into an early grave, but we love to do this together. It's been a wonderful time. here doing some League of Legends with you all for the LPL. There is no longer any official broadcast. Riot have stopped support for the English broadcast as it stands, and it does mean that we are now reliant on co-streamers to get this league out to you, and which is what we are. We are here to provide you a professional cast, because there isn't really much of that going around anymore. Of course, there's a few other LPL English out there as well. Shout out to them. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful crew. But we are here doing it, the two of us, getting our grinds and reps in, casting as we go. And if you like what we do, please do follow the channels that we are live on, which is, of course, is twitch.tv/Nymaera_ on the YouTube, over on, of course, Nivea's YouTube, and TikTok as well, which has been really good fun live in so many different locations. Well, thank you for coming and saying hello. It's so cool for us to be here and doing this with you and for you all. With that in mind as well, for those of you who have got the extra £5 or a Prime sub, courtesy of Twitch Prime, consider dropping it on the Twitch channel. It does do a really good job in terms of supporting us. You can help support the LPL in general. And again, we are reliant on all of you back home to keep doing this. We've also got a Ko-fi link. So for those of you who aren't Twitch users or don't want to use the Prime sub, you can definitely use that instead, which is a really cool way to come and support us. So please do use the Ko-fi link. That will go out to all our channels. And outside of that, follow me as well. I'm at Initialise Casts. Make a huge difference as well.
Okay, that's our housekeeping done. We'll get through we'll let you look at the graphs and the highlights and, you know, all that good stuff. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful day of League of Legends, JDG versus IG. Later on in the day, we'll have LNG versus TT, so we'll be dropping down into Group Nirvana. But this one's the big one weirdly at the start of the day, but a heck of a way to start it off. JDG IG quickly becoming one of my very favorite matchups within the LPL in this current kind of era of our region. I think the Shy had a great Rumble game too, actually. His equalizer was so disgusting. Gala, 100%. How the hell did Senna get 100% kill participation? In a game as crazy as this, with so many random fights, surely he would have dropped 1 or 2, but Gala, 100% KP. Good luck from him, considering he'd struggled recently.
Pretty much had.
JDG, they bought into way too many early game fights. I get it that if you win one fight, I think you have the power to scale, but you are never winning early game fights versus Trundle, Silas. Very high damage. It's the one item mark. I mean, Trundle doesn't scale that well in terms of damage. I know Kanavi did his thing, but realistically, they are low range. You can disengage them with the Silas, the Alistair ult, the Azir ult a little later. But yeah, they bought into way too many fights. I think Mako, good game on the Braum. No, honestly, ensemble performance from IG. I don't think there's anyone who had a bad game. Mako's disengage was great. Gala's soul stacking and his ability to control waves and contribute to fights. 100% kill at KP. Says it all, really. The Shy's AoE team fights, rookies. Montage reel on and doing the blueprint of why you don't draft certain things while Silas is available. And yeah, Way on the Trundle was perhaps a bit more of a role player, but he played that role very well. And JDG, reminder, this team just made a couple of big changes, both the coaching staff onto their roster on the Rift too. This is going to be a little bit dismaying for them. Thing is though, okay, do I do horse game of the break, or do people actually just genuinely not want to see that? I'm trying to think what's actually good pause content is the problem.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Cadrill's doing it. He's getting away with it.
True, yeah. But that being said, I'm not Cadrill.
No, but this is your opportunity.
This is how I become Cadrill, by horse skill game. I did have an A rank run the other day.
There you go.
I'll load it up and
We can put a little thing saying next game up in 10 minutes or whatever on screen. That's fine. I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Cool.
Do you want another coffee?
I would love another coffee. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the first one. It's really nice. We have lucked out in the fact that the best coffee I've ever had in my life is literally just a 2-minute walk away from us. It's literally just the other block. And one of the minute is of that walk is going downstairs to get the go downstairs to get out of the building, because we're on like the 3rd floor here or something. Okay, let's do some horse game. Oh Jesus. Ooh, is my CPU liking that? This isn't that hard a game on the CPU. I say that. It's a freaking mobile game with ported over the PC. Better not be.
I hear, Alex.
Oh, thank you so much for the resub, Shamrock. Oh, we'll see our MVP now as well.
Enjoying the casts in my early morning.
And it was Wei who gets the MVP. Wow, I would have thought it would have been the Silas instead, but hey, not a bad game from him, of course. Type mathematical sound. This Wei guy seems to be a great jungler. Have BLG tried him out yet? I know, maybe he's somewhere on the list there. Maybe. Okay. He knows that way. Yes, he does. Where is horse game? Give me horse game. Give me horse game or give me death. There we go. Cool. Okay, we'll play a horse game campaign. I need to figure out which one I'm going to do, though. So yeah, we're on break now, so we'll wait until the next game comes up. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anyone I want to use? Gold Ship is just Chaos Incarnate. We can do Gold Ship. We can do a Gold Ship campaign. Right. And I want power and speed for this. I have a really good one of, very good Medro somewhere. Ooh, yeah, there we go. And this has got really good skills to pass over to. Yep, that's good. Cool. We definitely take those. Okay, and then we want someone with, like, late game stuff. Ooh, that's really good. What the heck? What skills are you giving over there? That's not great skills. Oh, this person's really good too, actually. What skills are you giving over? Slipstream is very good. Yep, all this is good. Yep, we can work with this. Yep, we'll work with this. Then I need to figure out what I'm doing with support cards. Oh yeah, I got Kiddersan Black, so I can use this instead. And I want stuff for like late game surges. That means I want to switch this out for... Oh yeah, support cards are really important in this game because they give you a chance of like certain drops. So for instance, not this one. I don't want front runners. I want late game surging techniques. So I want end closers. I want this because it gives me like end closer stuff. Yeah, want that. This, what do you get from this? This is fine. Corner recovery is not bad, and support effects are okay. Do I have any other speed stuff? What skills do you give? Straight away, this is all pretty good, actually. Do I want another speed? No, this is okay. So I've got 3, 1, 1. That's fine. This is okay. Alright, let's go. Yeah, I'm kind of going this is so cringe to say. I'm kind of going esports mode on the horse game. Like, I've watched so much random stuff about this game now. I've watched like 10 hours of Northern Line stream this. 78 speed up at the first bit is really nice. Okay, and now we try and friendship max for the first bit. Gold Ship is just so chaotic, man. 2 on that. 3 on wit. I don't really want to use this for... Whatever, it's fine. It's okay. And what you want power and you want... I don't want to train guts ever. However, getting friendship up is kind of important. Corner adept is very, very good to get hints for. It's a very good skill. Anything which you can proc on just regular straights or... anything you can proc on straights or corners is very, very good, by the way, because you pretty much always get them. Why can just smith? Split the training around a little bit. I just want to get as much friendship early. I'm hereby contacting you to whether inquire you know anyone in the Cologne area. No, I don't know anyone in Cologne, really. We rest now, it's 30% too high. Well Rust is very good. You get to roll between getting 30, 50, and do that, I guess. And yielding speed. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Speed or power? I actually think power is the right call here. Although I should be training more speed when I can, just because leveling up the speed training is really good. More power? More power. More fire. Go on stamina. Go on wit. Do one more whip. Gives us some energy back. This is fine, gives us some extra stamina, I think. Please, give me some speed. What's this game called? Uma Musume. Where's my male representation in this game? So Goldship, this character, is actually a male horse. But all of the characters in this game are, you know. Who gets this? Hang on a second, I need to. There is Goldship. Because I have like a little website thing for the thing. Constant distance. I don't want to mess around with this too much because there's a chance of getting slacker, which is fucking awful. This is okay. We've got over 200 speed for the first race, so we're fine. We'll get one race in and then we'll... Focus is pretty decent, actually. Focus is okay. I don't get it early, but it's not bad. The color of the hints typically tells you what you're getting out of them. 7%. 7%, we take those. Okay, we got pretty decent stats out of this, honestly. Now, let's see if there's any skills we want. This is a very good one to get at some point. Yeah, that's pretty good at some point. Corner Adept is very, very good. I should just get that straight up. Typically, I wait to see if they get more cheap. Yeah, and we'll get one race in, and then we can yep. Yeah, Goldship was apparently this should be okay. I don't want to go into late with 4 others because it one of the most important things to keep in mind in the early game is that you typically don't have the power stat to break through the group that much. So you don't want to go into you don't want to share your race style with like 5 people. If you do that, you will pretty much lose early game. Until you get like a C in power, you don't want to be, or you have skills which will stop you from doing that. So for instance, like Augury Cap, her ult breaks her out of packs easier. On this game. Oh, did I run adverse? I didn't. I do need to run adverse. One sec. Rushed is not great. Oh yeah, Goldship's ult is really funny too. Just halfway through the race, she just starts like rushing. Even though she's meant to be like a late game closer. She's scaling. Yes, you can play against other players too and join. Yes, you can do that through... So there's a team racing thing where you you kind of like... You have a team of every single distance and every single race type. And you put, you know, campaign characters which you've used before into each of those categories. And you race against other people with their full teams as well. And then there's also, like, once you get teams to a certain point, you can basically do invite matches and stuff. So there was a streamer tournament, like, last week or something in Northern Lion. I think it's Ludwig that set it up, and Ludwig and Northern Lion were in there. Hey, pass before, let's see. Okay, we'll do this race, and then we'll get into, you know, League of Legends again. Didn't proc ult this time, which is a bit sad, but yeah, we've got plenty of stats. Only way you lose this is by getting boxed out and getting into like a group of like 5 people. Easy stuff, easy money. All the sheep. Oh, it's not even close. You get an object. I think you get a you get an award for winning your debut by more than 7 lengths. I'm pretty sure. Ah, I didn't get it. Okay, do we get the drop kick? No, no drop kick today. That comes later. Eventually, when you win races, Goldship just starts like drop kicking you. Perfect timing. We end the race and we get into our second draft of the day. Apologies to people who don't like horse game, but it's something to do in breaks, and I've been struggling for that anyway. Let's get into our second contest. When Poppy early banned this time, was banned in the second round. Last time around, I seem to remember. Zero off the board. Talia, Annie, both up. Pantheon gone. Varus available. So you're gonna get Talia or Varus going through. Varus first pick from JDG now seems likely. Hayes, of course, plays it. Everyone plays it. Easy first pick. You don't have a Rumble to pair it with, which is one of the most broken combos within League of Legends right now. Rumble Varus is, I think, almost unbeatable. IG on the other side. Do you go Jhin? Just immediately match that. You could go for the Kai'Sa for Gala and just say he's good enough to make it work, but Jhin is a nullifying lane. Most teams say if there's a Varus, you can at least neutralize it with the Jhin. You don't have to pick it now. You could pick it on 3, unless there could be 2 other priority picks you wanted. Hey, Yoda, good to see you. Now, what else do you pick in? You can go for Xin Zhao. You can go towards, you know, one of your choice AD skirmishers. Aurora's pretty damn good, in fairness. Not that much deals with an Aurora in laning phase. Especially with the Orianna gone, actually. Orianna is one of the champions which does a lot better into the Aurora. And it means that IG have a ton of damage that can hit you through the team fight now. Just very long range, picking you off through your front line. If Jhin can weave in a W onto the back line, it's typically a very big problem. Annie, not the worst pick into the Aurora. Does decently in the laning phase comparative to many others. Kali's one of the ones which does better into Aurora too if you want to lock that, but a bit early to kind of blind picking the Kali. The Annie is a much more fair weather thing. Sets up with a good early game, good engage later into team fights. You can pick it in most compositions. Do you have a jungler you want to pair it up with? Ral's a decent pickup here too. Strong lane of the Varus Ral. Very heavy engage now from JDG. Which they struggled to capitalize their engage last time. They have more early power, much more early power in this comp than they did last time. Do you lock support here for Mako? What would you go? You can go Jhin, Rakan. No, it's a bit squishy. Rakan hates playing into Annie. Wei goes to Jarvan. Now, Wei always was a Jarvan player back in 21, 22 when he was on his RNG days. He was a big Jarvan player. Following in the footsteps of players like Kai'Sa and MLXG, who of course did that in RNG. Jarvan being back, I think is very cool to see, because there are a lot of junglers which plied their trade on Jarvan for a great many years. And a reminder, hello to everyone in all of our various chats. We currently have 4 different streams running right now, 2 on YouTube, 1 on Twitch, and 1 on TikTok. So if you're joining us here today for LPL action, it means an awful lot to us. Thank you for supporting our broadcast and keeping the LPL alive just a little bit more. AD junglers being taken away from Shun now at the cost of supports for Mako. What do you ban away last from JDG? The Leon is a good ban away. Mako wants to play a tanky engager if you can. Now, playing something like a Rakan is a bit of a problem. The more I've seen Annie in the meta, the more I realize actually Annie really shuts down picks like Rakan. Typically, Rakan is very mobile, very easy to escape plays. Can't really do that against point and click Annie stun, and then you get deleted afterwards. So stuff like the Leona, I prefer that into the Annie. Anyway, the Galio actually, which could have been a support pick actually for Mako. Again, just tanky support picks you want to take them away.
I'm assuming there's been a bit of a conversation about Shun's Kindred being banned away as well as a bit of a special.
No, that actually only just happened now, so actually no.
So well, of course it's
thank you, Amber.
Pretty damn cool one there. And indeed, thank you very much. Also, thank you very much for the resub, Doc Shamrock, for coming back on it. Rakan
They
gonna get
do lock they do lock the Rakan. It's good in the laning phase. I think this is a bit of like a grin and bear at Rakan, because into the Annie and the Varus
it can be pretty rough.
You can sometimes get insta deleted. Rakan is typically very survivable, and you know you will get the IG Rakan skin. Shout out to Baolan out there. But Rakan is now going to have a target on his back as a very strong engager, but one which is typically reliant on mobility, not tankiness.
Yeah, I mean, JDG went for late game scaling last time, didn't they? They've gone for the opposite this time around. That is some nasty 1-item level 6 spikes.
Shen hovering over that Neferi as well. I mean, you have the lane pressure to do this, and if Jarvan ever jumps at Neferi, you press W, very easy to block out that flag drag. Jarvan can never really fight the Neferi one-on-one. It's an awful individual matchup, unless you get a combo very quickly out of Fog of War, which is not easy to do. Very powerful. Now, the Aurora might get flexed top. The Shy does like the Aurora top lane, and we did see that from Team WE yesterday, where they overcooked and didn't get the most out of it. But this time, if you get the Victor for it, which is a good matchup into the Annie, I think you get 2 winning lane matchups. When WE did it yesterday, they ended up getting a losing mid lane matchup by picking the Sylas, which got victored. Now, when IG flex it with the R5, the Luke Skywalker pick coming in strong here.
Red 5, standing by.
The laning forces with them as they get 2 winning lanes there on the solo lanes.
Forces with them. Oh my.
Yep.
Very good. I'm gonna get us our coffees. I had to remake yours.
The dark, okay.
Because I did it immersed, and all the coffee grounds came out of the pod. Into the coffee. It was
crunchy coffee.
It was a big
Yum.
crunchy coffee, which would be like, I don't want to give that to you. Like, here you go, mate. It would have been
Did I ever tell you the tragedy of Darth Fearless the Wise? It leads to many drafts many would call unnatural.
I've practiced my Palpatine impression many times over the years.
I think you'll find this bot lane is fully operational.
And game 2, Starto, JDG. Stronger draft this game, I think, but still, I think IG have come up with a great couple of drafts. They've played very, very well in game 1. Let's get ourselves into game 2 and see if they can reprise that performance. The regular crowd chant leader is not there from JDG.
He is. He's just on the other side. There was two. There was 2 leaders.
Well,
last
right
time.
there. I didn't hear him there. None of that that traditional jing dong. It's a different guy. Very clearly that.
Yeah, he was there. He was there in game 1. Over on, but it was really interesting because you could hear one on the left-hand side.
Okay,
and one on
all
the
I'm
right.
saying is he didn't do the gyro there, Sam.
wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Incredible stuff. Drama in the JDG fan community. Let's help with a statistical analysis of what's happening in the background.
JDG get themselves very strong early lanes here. Now, I think that IG did a really good job of answering them. Typically, you look at this draft, you think, Renekton, wow, early game. Annie, great laning phase right now too. Varus, awesome. But Jhin nullifies the Varus. Aurora beats the Renekton. Victor survives the Annie, then eventually gives a ton of issues once you get to 2 items. Very hard for the Annie to full burst the Victor out. He's become much more of a kind of a tanky battle mage. Shy using the grasp in this top side too. The Shy has been very lane dominant on this pick. Hasn't always converted into wins, but if he goes towards, you know, the Leandri's Riftmaker, which has been very popular on the Aurora, he gets very, very powerful play.
And Spirit Abjuration is just miserable, passive from Aurora for the Renekton. You get the move speed, so you outspace him, and he's consistently getting, I think it's like, it's 2% or 2.5% of someone's max HP per like 3 or like 3 spell
when you get
proc.
the 3-hit passive, yeah.
Plus AP scaling. So just as the game goes on, Renekton's like, I've got HP. No, you don't anymore. I keep punishing you for building HP. It's really miserable.
Yeah, Aurora just really, really good in those extended trades, particularly when it synergizes so well with what is already the most powerful mage item combo right now is Leandri's Riftmaker.
Yeah.
I think in the past it wasn't, but now it just feels with a ton of HP, the HP transferring into damage, and the percent damage increases stacking on top of each other multiplicatively. So it's not just 6% plus 8%, it's 6% plus 8% plus a little bit extra because there's like 8% times 6%, so it's like an extra 1% on top of that too, basically. on there. Which is, yeah, it's very, very powerful between the both of them. And Aurora's combo as well, it works very well with that too, because what you do is you QE, and then you wait for both items to stack up, and then you pull back the Q after the damage increase has already been applied. Rookie's trading very well here against Scout in the early lane, getting the wave push and some good trades.
Exactly that. And again, last game we were saying, look, IG want to get the ball rolling, or Sivir Azir scaling's going to come on through and things get tricky. JDG, it's kind of their turn to try and pull that off, because as we said, look, if the game gets late enough that Victor and Aurora and Jhin are kind of standing miles away and you've got to deal with them, you're going to struggle to burst people out in good order, then things get tricky. The problem is that the lanes are not the same, and yeah, we were talking about those passives. Ow!
Yeah, and this is one of the more nasty things about the Aurora into that too. You can buffer through the stun. Shun coming for a dive though, can use that W to reset aggro.
Bit of chunk onto Pace there. Gala gets his reset through, gets a fair amount of damage. Pace in danger. Flash away from Gala, gets a deadly flourish on the backline. Onto Wink, they will get the kill. Flash out from Shun. And they escape. 1 kill secured, but it took a little bit of work.
Neferi W resets the tower aggro. Always been a powerful usage in pro play if you can stop tower shots going through. They'll stop the recall coming through from Shun. Rookie had walked his way down to the play. So what's going to happen now is Jin's going to walk into mid lane, collect the last of that wave. Victor will recall after sorting out the bot wave in the way that the 2v2 wants. Or in this case, maybe the Shy will go down there too. And then he'll recall, teleport back into mid lane, and then either Jhin or Aurora will take up that post again.
And they do get the kill, and importantly, Don Tagala, who ends up dropping a little bit of that wave there. But as you said, he gets to pick up the mid lane wave. So actually, IG doing a decent job of making sure that people still get a hold of farm.
However, JDG kill onto the Neferi. Neferi into the Jarvan, great matchup. And I don't think there's anyone on IG which the Neferi can't give huge issues to later into the game. I think one of the saving graces of this, because I do agree that IG do have some very good scaling factors. I don't think this is a complete wash late game though. Yeah, at all. I think that JDG can kill the first target. Jarvan, burstable. Rakan, burstable. Aurora Jhin also to a certain level too. And yes, you do have the HP on the solo laners from the items they build, but it's not going to be enough to stop them from Annie, Renekton, Varus, Neferi following up. CC chain is very intense. So getting kills onto that first bit of the burst combo from that Neferi, very important here for JDG.
Value is good. Gala, Mako, looking towards that bot side. Enjoy the fact that Gala's just fully committed to having his name in caps. Like, my name is Gala!
Gala!
Exactly.
Level 6 hit from Xiaoshu and from the Shy now. Might be able to force ult for ult, but chooses not to. Had run out of cooldowns, so the rage wasn't the issue there.
Grass proc and the passive, very annoying. It's going to leave a bit of a chunk. Of course, both top laners have TP'd in, so 30 to race a bit different. Scout has burned the tippers in mid lane, full shove. We do see this quite a lot from Annie's at the minute. It just buys you lane prio.
Dragon started by JDG. No response from IG. No grubs available on the other side. Jarvan's going to spend his time farming instead. Chaos Storm used by Rookie to clear the wave. Again, very Doonby-esque kind of... So, hang on. That's not insignificant. Rookie getting the last hit on the Tibbers basically counts as an extra cannon minion, by the way, folks. He gets 50 gold from killing the Tibbers, which is not unimportant. And also, very interesting thing, by the way, Rookie not going for the Rod of Ages Leandri's
Oh, no, he's
build.
not.
He's going towards a Lost Chapter item, so it might be Ludens for poke, it might be the Blackfire for continued burn. Surprised at that, though, given how much burst is on JDG, that he's going towards more of a pokey build.
Maybe just feels like he needs a bit more power early, or they're going to get run over and just wants to kind of spike that little bit earlier. Or maybe backs it up to not die, I suppose.
Yes, yeah, I suppose so. It's very, and I guess the Shy going towards, he's going towards the Rod of Ages, actually, not going towards Leandri's. Maybe he'll be more of the, you know, the HP battle mage. But Rookie now needs to position much better on the Victor. If he's going to go towards a squishier build, play towards that E-poke. If it lands, very effective, of course, but if there's a flash rel in your vicinity, you are not happy, really. Xiaoshu, rather, not able to get the empowered W. The Shy largely doing better in the trades we see on screen. It just hasn't led to a CS advantage, so well played from Xiaoshu to not actually lose the big plays just yet.
Shy goes across the veil in between worlds, and Xiaoshu eats a lot of their health bar for it. Still has the dominance to work with, not being forced to use it as yet.
Really love the Shy spacing there, making sure there was no flash W angle, really. Scouts pushed up in this bot side. Jarvan not made an impact so far. Remember last game? That's going to be a dead Victor.
Oh, yeah. Rookie throws down the gravity field. Actually, might be able to back away from this. Way now behind. Incinerate comes on down. Flash now 4. Scout looking for more. Will get the kills. Caught in the turret. Way's going to come on down and ensure that it is a 1-for-1.
1-for-1. Both mid laners using their flash.
Way, very nice.
It does end up so all that, yeah, they will end up slow pushing it actually. That's why Wave potentially needs to go down to fix that. Grubs have spawned now. It's a big play from Scout. It means that there's no kind of cross map available from IG, and of course it buys the attention of Wei, who has to show on that bot wave. He'll go through bot jungle, get some plays through that. IG not getting any grubs is a bit annoying for them. The Aurora typically hits towers very, very well, and grubs can make that into significant plate gold increase. Both teams now taking the chance to go into the enemy red side jungle and take away some jungle camps.
What about the bowls? And the crockery?
Then what?
The cutlery.
As opposed to what?
The plates.
Oh, Los Platos.
Yes.
The Shy doesn't have ult, does have flash. If he gets stunned here, he's probably dead.
Flash, there's the flash back. The storm into the call of the hunt, trying to turn this one around, but Mako comes on in, gets a quickness down, but there's just no follow-up. Nearly a great turnaround from Mako if he'd been half a second earlier.
And misses the W2. Shun, does he still have W? He can dive again.
Oh, it's nicely done. And JDG, they needed the snowball. They are doing so.
This is the CC combo I was really worried about on behalf of IG. JDG pull it out very well on that top side. They get a kill in the bot lane from Scout in the 1v1. Managed to collapse on top side. The Shy did not have enough to wave clear through that. And now it's a 1,000 gold lead and a 3 grub advantage for JDG. And Wei has yet to impact the game on the Jarvan, which is a bit of a problem. He does have the early damage to turn these plays potentially. He needs to be in the right place at the right time. And JDG seem a lot more locked in this game than the last.
And speaking of people who are able to get some influence on the game, look, Neferi's been nerfed. We've seen a few Neferis get kills and then struggle in the mid game when things start to become a little bit harder to secure those resets. But an early Shojin, 3-0, Shun, always a leader in his teams. One of those things that perhaps BOG are now lacking a little bit. It has been really good here in this game, getting them ahead of the curve. Scouts also up and rolling on the Annie, something he was finding success with all the way back on teams like LNG when Annie was last meta again, rather. And it's a good start for JDG to get things rolling. Up only 1,000 gold, but it's what they need to be doing. They've got a load of those early objectives as well. The grubs, the early mountain dragon. Good start here as things begin to hit the mid game.
JDG moving well towards their strong side of the map, i.e. the map with the pushing CC Annie locked and loaded. Rookie not going for any HP in his early build makes him a lot more susceptible to this style of play. He never wants to be weak side on the map with this build. You can be with a Rod of Ages because you can just about survive and at least get the Chaos Storm or the Grav Field to do your work under tower. Now, this is the problem with the Rakan as well. It's actually very dangerous walking into situations like this. You are very squishy and you're very mobile, but if you ever get caught, it's a problem.
Managed to escape and Mako enough with that mobility there. Flags and drags away.
Thanks to stun, but of course Sandy doesn't stop that, which is very powerful. There's some very fun things which do stop dashes like that actually. Like Lyssandra's ult stops dashes mid-play, interestingly. It's one of the reasons we can't like dash away from them or Ariel to away from them.
How does REE work with flag and drag? 'Cause obviously I know that like REE is a dash canceller of sorts.
Well, it will work exactly the same way that any other kind of displacement works with this in regards to if Jarvan is already moving, it will stop the movement. If the movement hasn't started,
I guess
it will go. The same kind of thing with Tristana. If the movement is started, it can be stopped. Otherwise, they'll yeah, because Jarvan and Tristana, they can quote unquote buffer where they cast the spell. They'll take a little bit of a delay, then start moving. And League of Legends, the rule of thumb is the latest movement to be applied takes precedent. So you hit someone after they're moving. That's when it stops it.
Dragon. See Spider-Naut.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the biggest ones in the game. If the hook's in flight, hasn't hit the wall yet, he can still move. Got to be timing them very well. Hook shot as well. Another big one. Fighting up the Scuttle Crab. Dragon has spawned. IG. This is the kind of fight which can lose you the game. You do not want to buy into this too easily.
They pull away. Scuttle Crab secured. Couple of wards there in that bush. They have a sweeper. Not as yet. Scout now farming up his bot side wave best he can.
3 kills on this Neferi. Shun having an awesome gain on the Neferi so far. And Shun, you know, he was all smiles and laughter earlier. A very joyful player to watch on stage. Seems like he's a real cheat code for team environment. Him having 3 kills will definitely help with the team environment too. He was one of the reasons why JDG flourished so greatly in regular season last split. One of the few teams to beat BLG when they were on the hot streak towards the end of the split. It was only them and Anyone's Legend which managed to take wins off of them. Of course, JDG couldn't do that in playoffs because they didn't face BLG in playoffs. They bombed out against WE, and that was the problem. Shun and Scout fell off during playoffs.
Not great.
And it was really not what we wanted to see from them. They've made some changes, not to those players, to jungle and to support. Dragon's been started up. Wait, we'll see it.
You have to eviscerate over the wall. Maker also around. Does not have Spellbook Smite. Always worth noting with supports at this era of League of Legends.
Okay, so we're getting into a big fight now. No first items really there yet. Varus the only one with that, and we'll be able to use that. IG, I'm glad they are not blindly going into these fights. If you fight right now and you give crazy fight over to the Neferi, that is how you lose this game. JDG, that's why they're playing so boldly, and it's the correct thing for them to do. Just give that hanging option to say, okay, IG, we're going to take something important. We're going to take a dragon. We're going to push into your side of the jungle. Do you have a response? And the answer right now has been no.
And there's that extra half item now from Shun, who has had that shoujo for a while. This Neferi is scary. 3-0. And gets another dragon. That is the mark towards feat of strength as well. They will, of course, already got the first 3 kills. So I think that is, in fact, just feat of strength now, as I do my kind of logical processes there, such as they are in my brain. And they are in a really good spot this game now.
Malignance for Scout built up, so he has cooldown core completed between the Boots and Malignance. Jin has Collector, which is, nice for those first item early game spikes. I guess he will be going towards something like the Fire Cannon next. You've got double AP solo, and so you feel less important, like you need to go for full crazy damage because it's not like there's too much armor on the other side. And yeah, the Rod of Ages built up for the Shy. Haven't seen first item for Rookie because he's invested in tier 2 boots, going towards what looks to be that Black Fire, make a court.
Cleanses out. Of course, Spellbook does give him that opportunity, and I can see why you would run that on a Rakan in this game if you've got the opportunity. Change that straight on over to the Ghost. Heal as well.
Rookie level 11. Herald spawning in 20 seconds. So, jumping on the Paze, want to force the splash.
Trying to get some value here. The heal comes on through. Paze does flash and gets out, but now the turnaround with the Magnus one comes on through. Way potentially dangerous. Shun could potentially look to call a back slash. Go on the hunt, will not be able to find it. And they get out to safety.
Varus losing flash, obviously a big win there for IG, but not having the flash Cataclysm is also a negative for IG. Herald's going to get started, and with the Jarvan being low, I don't think IG have any right to contest this. They will give over yet another objective in this early game. And IG waiting for their moment. How much are they going to give up before they actually give a fight, though? It'd be very, very dangerous to give over way too many resources.
Dragon again at Soul Point in about 3 minutes. Maybe that's what you go towards. Rookie's actually going to come on up and steal it! With the Death Ray! Oh no, that's foul. Now Shun is in danger. Use the Call of the Pack to get DPS on the Herald. Good work from the mid laner. Now comes the Arcane Storm. Mako with the quickness. Scout forced to flash as well.
Rookie with the Merc Treads, playing so aggressively in front of the Annie there now to Gala. What are you doing, my friend?
Run it by Paze. It just gets hit by the arrow.
That was an awesome play from IG at the start to get the Herald, but Gala gives a big win over the JDG. We were praising him for his Senna and his last series, particularly that Kai'Sa. That was such a brain-off maneuver, though. There's no support there. You're half HP. What in the world are you thinking of walking in there? Big mistake. This Gala goes down and gives a freebie kill and burns the flash.
This is a Varus with no ult and no flash who just autos him down, basically. He just gets to do it, hits the big Ghost Blade empowered piercing arrow with that W. The Blight stack's doing a lot of work, and it's a dead Jin. And that really undoes a lot of what IG has just done so well in the river.
That being said, though, I mean, Rookie, man, Rookie. It's been a while since Rookie's been on consistent form, but looking through all of his first series, I think Rookie's been great. I think Rookie's been very, very good.
Yeah.
I think he was the better mid laner versus top esports. I think versus WE, he single-handedly carried certain games there. And that last, that E over the wall, he was out of vision. They didn't see him anywhere nearby, but the smite discipline poor from Shun. Sometimes you just have to, do that. And Gala's clearing vision, he's half HP, and he just walks up into fog of war. There is no reason to walk up it. Gala, my friend, that's just not it. Red buff, E slow, flashes to get hit anyway. At least save the summon, The redemption even being late too. That's a bad moment for Gala.
I wanted to put a trap down to get some vision, and he's doing it by himself. Just gets horribly, horribly punished. Minute until Dragon. We are starting to get first items through for IG, and it was the Black Fire Torch, by the way, from Rookie, so a bit of a higher damage burn build than the Robo, which comes online a little later.
And we'll see whether it goes towards something like the Horizon Focus or the Cosmic Drive's been very popular on Victor because it gives you movement speed, which Victor can use very, very well as the Battle Mage. That minute timer ticking down a little bit more. Gala will look to try and right the wrongs of that mistake he just made. 1,000 gold the lead still for JDG. Yet to see a huge fight so far. It really has just been small skirmishes. IG not really giving up a field battle yet.
Alright. First turret likely going to go to Xiaoshu here after the early kill on Fazaz. Actually managed pretty okay here. Stayed even in CS.
Yeah, done
a
very
little
well.
bit of gold. Pretty alright here. Mako walking away there with the grand entrance. JDG are in the river and in control.
Do IG really want to give... I mean, you can technically give one more dragon, but it's not the best. Shun will steal away that camp. Wei falling behind over half a level now too. Herald and bot side. Rookie had that inventory. That will take down the bot lane outer turret. And if left unattended, could push in towards the inner turret too. Dragon has spawned. Rookie making the most of that objective in inventory.
Or how many smite charges Wei has, but I wonder whether he was just saying, look, I need to hold my smite for Dragon. He's only got one in inventory.
I think this fight is all about how much work the Victor can do. Maybe you can get a good enough Aurora play, but it's not bursty Aurora. Dragon started. Ult from Jhin called out very early.
Trying to get a fair amount of damage. Scout! Oh my god! The damage on the Mako goes half away for a second or two, but burns out to the Dragon. Actually, turn around onto the Relic. Support for support. Good fourth shot. Now the Shy is here. Damage onto Xiaoshu. Wei goes looking for a flag and drag, but can't find anything with the Dragon Strike. Chains to go wide. Rookie now trying to hop away as Shun's gone quite deep for this. Shield comes on down from Wei. Buys some time. Good for Shy! In comes the Cataclysm, and between worlds they go. Shun dies as well! And oh my days, the solo lanes of Invictus Gaming are here to party.
IG spend 19 minutes not giving a fixed battle, avoiding JDG's early power spike, and then they outplay. Mako gets caught. We warned about the Rakan not being very tanky into a point-and-click team, and Scout starts to fight well. But IG gets such a huge amount of damage after JDG got a little too over-eager. They get the dragon, they get gold in hand, and they get a gold swing of about 3,000 gold in the space of the last minute or so. Huge, huge play from Invictus Gaming to get themselves into the lead. Starts off with the Jhin ult being pulled, forcing onto Wink, but this is the problem with the Rakan as opposed to the Leona or a Nautilus or something like that into the Annie. You do get instantly blown up. Gala gets the fourth shot, and that's where things get really interesting. Much less threat onto the backline now with no Flash Magnet Storm. The old Invictus Gaming support going down. Rookie flashing out of both the Neferi and the Jhin ult. Another bad sign for them, and suddenly their threat is gone.
Deadly Flourish onto the Varus. That's how he got locked down for the Flag Drag and the Cataclysm, and then Xiaoshu and the Neferi get caught out by the burn. It ends up being a deceptively great fight from Gala, but now Rookie's in danger. Redemption's coming on down. The exhaust comes on through, keeping him from doing too much damage, and they will finally get a hold of that Victor. 3 members going up there, and Atakan's around, and they're starting it up at JDG.
Scout doesn't have teleport and will have to back off. Do they give up the Atakan for mid lane turret? Pace has flash. You would be able to get out of a Cataclysm. It's coming up in a couple of seconds.
Wait, tries to get the flag and drag down. There's the Realm. Mako also coming around. Wink potentially in.
Atakan should still be being taken. They're pinging onto it. There are red pings. Choosing to peel off of it now. It was on vision the whole time.
The Shy is here. Needs to be a little wary. Walks past the false light alteration. Wei now in danger. Xiaoshu makes the Dominus happen. The Shy goes across the Veil. May need to E away. Gets a fair amount of damage back. They're getting damage onto Mako. Massive Magnet Storm though. Chains of Corruption come on through. Flash away between worlds is pretty good. But look who else is here. It's Scout, who's managed to find an angle on in, and they bring down 2 Invictus Gaming members.
They bring down 3. Mako dies as well. IG tried to defend the Atakan. Rookie not being there means they don't have the turnaround damage. Once again, JDG take the lead. Rookie had a great play around the dragon, as did Gala. But IG, they go a little too deep, and they this is the fight they didn't want to give. They've done the hard work to get ahead. JDG see the arrogance of them walking up and find a great fight.
Rookie now trading out with Scout, throws down the gravity field. Tibbers is hitting, trying to turn that back though with the Hextech Storm. Stun comes on through. Tibbers is running. Malignant Spell not quite there. Oh my days, the Arcade Storm burn of the Black Fire Torch. It gets bloody close both ways.
Yeah, the Bloodletter ticking down magic resist in the damage over time, and also giving some tankiness. It is a very strong 2-item build for the Victor. But JDG will get themselves the Atakan. How does this start? I mean, Gala was in range to pull out an ult, pull out a W. I thought the exhaust was going to be enough, but Wink, after failing at the dragon fight, 4-man Magnet Storm. Again, the old Invictus Gaming support gets a huge value out of that play.
That was straight up nasty. Not many other ways to put it. Now the gold is pretty much even, to be fair. A couple turrets picked up by IG is nice, but the discrepancy here is in the Atakan. The petals end up being evened up, interestingly. But as a result, JDG managed to mitigate that discrepancy. And of course, get the bonus of when they kill someone, they get the slows, and you are looking for burst here, and that's not a bad thing, actually, if you can get that first kill, which is a complicated thing to do anyway.
Yeah, I think if JDG get the first kill, they're probably very happy anyway. But yes, the Ascon means that they snowball even harder. So, 2 items for the Aurora, who's not done that much in terms of individual lane lead. I think Xiaoshu's done a very good job of keeping up with the Shy's for typically lane-dominant Aurora. We saw how he's playing those trades. The fact that Xiaoshu has not lost anything is a big thing. However, who has lost a lot is Scout. Scout played well to get that solo kill onto Rookie earlier on in the side lane. He's been dropping a lot of farm, though, for the rest of his team, and even though he's 3-1 and 3, he's behind over 1,000 gold.
Nico hops away, doing his best. And as we said, that farm now for that Victor is very scary. Building towards something like a Death Cap or a Shadow Flame next. Maybe a Zonya's actually had to sing an NLR and went through the various options it could be. Damage now coming on down as Rookie and Xiaoshu trading out. Big damage actually onto Rookie, needs to back away and does so. Ow.
Ult for ult, but that means no Chaos Storm for the Dragon, and that is kind of big. No Dominus either, but I think the Victor is more important to IG than the Renekton is to JDG. I think you take that trade. Well played there by Xiaoshu. 20 seconds till the Dragon. I wonder whether IG give this one up. You've already got one Dragon. You were kind of lucky to get that one, I suppose. Do you just give it up, wait to scale a little bit more, or do you feel like you've got an angle of approach?
I feel like we're seeing a lot more Shojin as well these days in general. Shojin Stridebreaker, the build from Xiaoshu to really get value if he gets on top of someone. But here comes the Dragon, engage onto Wink.
No follow-up damage though, the Shy not hopping over the wall. Gets some damage. That Jin W definitely helps a little bit, but gets tanked up by the shield. Looks like IG do want to contest, but they're going through side of the... Oh, Scout's caught.
Oh boy, has to flash away. Still got the stun, but now caught in the Cataclysm. The Shy going to find some value as he goes across the wall there with the Between Worlds. Gets slowed down, but can still go across the Veil Shield looking for an angle. Make sure to go forward to the Hound's Pursuit. Way stunned up by Paze. Flag and drag through. Beginning to do some damage. The Shy just gets shut down. Allows for another angle. Paze though in a 1v2 being run out. The gravity field comes on down. Can they get the deadly first? No, they can't. Still trying to get the damage. The burn should surely do it. Does for Rookie. Flag and drag is immune by Shook. By that one, but Rookie continues to outplay. A wonderful shot from Gala. A flag and drag away from Way. They're just outplaying. The flash leads to nothing. Invictus Gaming just hands diff them.
This is the best form I've seen Rookie on in a long time. He has been outplaying the heck out of his opponents in his first couple of series here in the regular split. His Victor in particular has looked sublime, and right there, knowing that he could go forwards that extra step, using the breadth of his HP bar, get that extra E, kill off with the burn, and reset on that ult later as it came off on cooldown was utterly insane from him, and JDG lose another grouped up fight. I would have thought they'd be winning these kind of planes at this point in their game. Scout gets caught early though, and a big part of their engage and their burst goes with it. Flash, after the flag and drag, confirms the knock-up onto Scout, and the Shy shuts him down. Suddenly, much less backline threat. And Paze is not really in range to follow up on the fight, gets caught in the Dragon Pit, thought he'd follow up over the wall, but then just flashes into the Flying Dragon. Well, that's how Jarvan works with Aerosol, he can still move towards you. It's a self-displacement, technically not a movement ability, so we can get through that.
You can see the thought process. Look, I can get damage over the wall, but the burn is just there. And then Rookie gets to flash out from here, especially as Shun had just outplayed the flag and drag. But it's still Wave's got the flag and drag after because it's lured up cooldown at this point in the game.
The fact that he misses that final tick of damage onto way to insult to injury. Paze, no flash caught again.
In Between Worlds we go. You can get through the Cataclysm wall by pressing R as the Aurora. Good value there, and they pick up another one.
The game's falling apart now for JDG. They are behind 3,000 gold. They have not gotten their sold points, and they are failing to approach objectives even when they are there first. The fact that IG won that last play against vision control, against the control of JDG, is a huge loss. Wink now first to get
Flourish after, comes on down. Mako looking for some more with the quickness. Gravity field coming across. Rookie strides on forwards, strutting there with that staff and into the siphon power. Curtain call. Shun and Xiaoshu need to run away, trying to slice, but I don't think the dice will be offering much more than a natural one. A Stridebreaker in a dream right now, but I just don't think he finds out. The Toy Nectin is put in the toolbox. Not required anymore, split apart.
I love the way that IG are forcing these plays when JDG are not confidently following up on each other. JDG made changes coming into this split
and it feels like the chemistry isn't quite there yet. It is the first series for this new roster. We do expect great things out of these players and an organization like JDG, but Invictus Gaming, the more that we see from them in this split, this is their third series in just a handful of games, the more I'm feeling good about them. Arguably, they should have won versus Top Esports. A few misplays from Gala was the difference in that series. They demolished Team WE just after that too, and here against JDG, this is the best that they've looked so far. Game 1, utterly dominant, and here, way on the Jarvan, being a very proactive player, not a role player anymore. He's actually making those big plays in a way that a new member on a team can sometimes struggle to do. And IG, this series has looked very, very confident from him.
It's been really, really good. And look, Rookie on phenomenal form. I think Gala as well, outside of that one unfortunate face check, has actually team fought really well. Those fourth shot accuracies, the deadly flourish accuracies, have been such a menace.
They have been. You know, Gala had that one misplay against Paze a little earlier. But that's not been the story of the game. The story of the game has been him picking off people with his clutch W's after that point. You can kind of forget about that play now, fortunately for Gala. And honestly, he has been so good. 7-2-3. Personally, though, I think MVP for me has to be Rookie right now. Rookie has been so goddamn good. His clutch out plays have been so fun to watch. You know, I've definitely been someone who's criticized Rookie in recent years.
And rightly so.
And it has to be rightfully so. The Rookie had some big fall-off moments. He's looking confident, he's looking like he understands how to win those clutch team fights, and it's such a pleasure to watch.
In they go again, way onto Paze, who's still going to have to try and flash out. Does so, but they lose their jungler. Chains of Corruption flashed out his way. Does manage to survive. Xiaoxu looking for flank out. But David looking to go on through. Way. Flag and Dragon runs away. Scout over the wall. Flash for that massive stun. Does get that with a disintegrate. Mako now flashing one out. Xiaoxu gets some good value. They may have gone too far as the Shy goes down. Does get one back onto the Annie Rookie with no flash quite up. Tries to trade back. The Arcade's still doing a lot of work. Mako with the knockup. Can't quite get the damage, but he does at the end. The burn is there. Xiaoxu's still so deadly. This Renekton untouched. And Xiaoxu clutches up with a flash. And an engage on the side.
4 for 3 in favor of JDG as IG don't quite get the first pick they want without JDG answering a little too far, but still managing to make that into a 4 for 3 was very clutch in IG somehow anyway. They should have realistically lost that, more like a 4 for 2, 4 for 1. They managed to get more out of that than they would have thought, courtesy of their gold lead. Going onto the flashless Paze was a good play, of course, getting value onto it, but Wink ends up making sure the follow-up there is not onto the Jim, and onto the Varus rather. That is classic LPL full context team fighting. If they engage on your carry, you stop their follow-up instead of just engaging on the person going in first. Rookie does get good value out of that Chaos Storm and ends up getting huge amounts of value with the Blood Letters afterwards. Ends up not quite killing Wink. Maybe should have put that E onto Paze instead and would have gotten a more clean kill there. But still, getting multiple kills back from IG in that position, I didn't expect that from them either.
For this Renekton again, he's got Sterex, he's got Shojin and Stridebreak. If he can get some autos down, the damage from the Renekton it's pretty high. Now on to Dragon we go. That would be soul point for IG and 3 Infernal Dragons on a quad carry team.
It's insane.
It is quite nasty.
Yeah, Jin always has high AD numbers because of the way that his passive works with attack speed and blah 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 going into it. Getting a 4 Infernal Dragon Jin into a team which has 0 tanks is disgusting. He has a Lord Dominance regard, so he'll get through the small amounts of armor which is there anyway, and not to mention the Victor who's gone for a higher AP build because they have the Blackfire in there. With Blackfire, if you end up hitting... Minus Baron Pepper. Jesus Christ.
As we were praising Invictus Gaming, they pulled off that, you know?
Look, the thing is, it was a bad play, but they got the most out of the bad play that they could have done. In fairness, actually, no, should have really criticized IG more. Sometimes it's easier to buy into the hype of the winning team, which you're doing clutch plays, but JDG did a good job there. Now they're going on to Rookie on the side lane. He has the Zhonya's, and he has the Blood Letters, and he has the Flash backup. Rookie's been using the Zhonya's very, very well, allowing the Grab Field and the Chaos Storm to do their work while he's in gold form.
As well. The last play as well cost a few flashes, namely on Scout and Paze, and that has been a big deal. If Paze doesn't have flash, it's felt very hard for the Varus to survive the incredible amount of damage coming his way.
Seeing a couple of comments as well in both chats as well, talking about basically who's the bigger criminal in this game, Scout or Paze, and sadly, I think the answer is somewhere between the two of them, right? Paze not having that flash, consistently going too close to Fog of War has been a problem for them. Scout having little impact on the Annie outside of the early game too. They really need a clutch team fight to get any hope of a comeback.
Flash last fight, but now Mako looking for a bit more on this tier 2. Won't quite find it. Way looking for an engage. Puts down the Damascene standard will not drag and strike towards it. it. The Shy goes across the Velshun, looking for a little bit more.
Oh my God, Gala!
It's now a 4-item Jin, and that changes the pattern a little bit. Curtains are called. Goodbye, Wink. They're going to get the GA at least off one, but oh my days, the burn on the back end of it all. The Shy hit with the Chains of Corruption.
What is that Jin damage?
4-item Jin, baby.
It's a 4-item 3 Infernal Dragon Jin. What? Huh?
Jin
What?
scaling is very different to a lot of people's
They
carries.
can look for a crash down. No, they can't. Here comes the Cataclysm.
There we go. More damage to the backline as Scout goes on down. Wei survives courtesy of a little bit of a Bastion shield. Shun gonna get flashed on. Gala looking for more. Pays in danger. Another one. He picks up as many as he can find. Finally brought low is the Aurora, but Gala picks up the triple.
Dare I say it, this is the best Invictus Gaming have looked the entire year. It's early into the split, but they look coordinated. They look on form mechanically across the board. Yes, there are jitters there, but let's be honest, it's not an Invictus Gaming game without some Invictus inting as well. The Happy Gaming comes with their organization, and they'll get a last kill. And Gala really stepping up to the plate. Incredible Jin performance.
You can't deal with them at the worst. You don't deserve to love them at their best. And this is looking close to the best we've seen them all damn year. Invictus Gaming 2-0 in superlative style.
JDG, their first series of the split is humbling. Humbling is the word. They've changed 2 members in top lane and in support, missing an Arla, leaving their roster, and IG, a team which has given them some road bumps before, gives them another one here. Masterclass from IG in terms of that clutch team fighting and mechanical play.
Hello, one and all. I hope you enjoyed that series. I know I certainly did. Invictus Gaming are pretty damn good at League of Legends when they play. It's not perfect. They definitely overplay it a little bit when they don't need to. But hey, when it does work, watching these people flex their mechanical might is pretty damn cool. Welcome, welcome one and all to the stream. I am Initialise. This is my brother Nymaera. You may have seen us on such things as the LEC, and the Masters, NLC, LPL in years past when there was in fact an official broadcast. There is no longer an official broadcast, which means we're reliant on all of you back home to come and give us some love. So a few things you can do to help come and support us. Number one, follow the channels. If you're not following the YouTube, if you're not following the Twitch, if you're not following the TikTok, which of course you please do, guys, it does make a huge, huge difference to our ability to keep doing this, right? The follow numbers, the subscription numbers make a massive difference to things like sponsors and all of that kind of thing. So please do consider just hitting that follow button at the very least. To those of you who've got a little bit of money or enjoy the show and want to support us a bit further, Twitch subs go a long, long way as well to keeping us in business. Again, we aren't paid to do this. We are here every day. It's just the two of us. It's a lot of bloody work, guys. So those of you who've got a Twitch Prime maybe, or just some money spare and want to throw it at us, this would be a great way to help us support the LPL and us in general. Outside of that as well, we've also got a Ko-fi link. For those of you who don't use Twitch, don't want to sub, want to support us a bit more directly, Ko-fi is also a wonderful way to do that. So please, please, please do also consider using that one. We'll put that link into the other chats. And follow me. I'm at Initialisecast. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. That's the 3 things. Basically, like, follow, and subscribe. I may have said that one in a few too many words, guys. But hey, got to do the spiel. And if you enjoyed that series, enjoy us, drop that love where you can.
Okay, that'll do us for the first series of the day. We'll be, of course, chilling out between the series. Feel free to stick around. And yeah, wait, you can type in green. How do you type in green, Sakura? That's crazy. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll have a second series of the day now. LNG versus TT, which is Group Nirvana. So this is probably going to be a bit of a slow mess, folks. Neither of those teams look particularly confident, but we do what we can.
On TikTok saying, hey, is it over? Is there more to come? Like,
There's
yeah.
more to come.
Yeah.
There is more to come, folks. We have a series coming after this too.
So yeah, LNG versus TT. So it'll be different teams, as we were saying, and this will be an interesting one, I think, to say. So we just had some relatively high-end gameplay, particularly from Invictus Gaming. A little bit more of an eyebrow raise from JDG, who I think have got a bit to solve here. But that said, get your popcorn. Don't think about it too much, and we should have some fun with the next series regardless.
Yeah. So, going to the highlights. Rookie. I mean, Rookie just did disgusting things. I think Gala made up for a difficult series of outplays in the early... Well, a series of outplays. A difficult misplay early on. Did really, really well. With that in mind.
Yeah, really, 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 really did. And again, we look at these damage numbers. Again, you had a 3-0 Neferi who struggled to get kills in game 1. I feel like I'm seeing this more and more from Neferi. the base damage as the first item damage is still pretty good as the game's going on. I'm not seeing Neferi take over in the way they did before. We're not seeing a 17 kill Neferi anymore.
The first kill from JDG was so labored so often because yeah, they had to. When you have to kind of like overextend for that first kill, just in your regular position, like your body language is you're going that step closer to Fog of War because you want to get that step closer to follow up on the engage for that first pick. It brings you closer to the Jarvan, brings you closer to the Aurora. I think the Jarvan Orianna combo was insane throughout this game. I think the Shy, you know, he wasn't the main carry here, but he did very well linking up with Wei. And yeah, I was very impressed with IG's explosive team fighting. When IG, any of their rosters have been at their best, it has been through these clutch explosive team fights. Gala, yeah, great W accuracy. Guess you'll hate watching Aki for lunch. Aki had a difficult game for TT just before this. Of course, left NIP. Rookie was so clutch, man.
He really was. Who actually gets MVP this game, do you think?
I think Gala does. I think Gala does by the end of it, but I really like what Rookie brought to the table.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to give it to Rookie. And first, I think Wei also had a really good game on that Jarvan, actually. A lot of clutch knockups. So I could see it being Wei.
No, Wei was really good too. You know what? Wei was awesome too, thinking about it. Yeah, his engages were very, very clutch. Yeah, I think so. Any one of Rookie, Gala, Wei, I think it should be a split vote. I think Gala had that one misplay which might take a point from him, but also goddamn the damage in late game. I think Rookie was individually the most clutch, but I think that Wei's engages were probably the game turner actually onto Pays. So yeah, a really good kind of mixed bag of, not mixed bag, but like mix of plays throughout the whole team. Wei is famous, was famous for his Jarvan when he's in E-Star, also on RNG as well. Yeah, I called it out from, I forgot about the E-Star days, you're absolutely right, but yeah. I'm glad that IG are looking more on form. I hope they keep this together. I think it's good for the league if IG are a team which are contending. You know, they were top 4 last split, first time in a very long time that they've managed to do that. And yeah, I'm happy to see them have a game like this. JDG, sadly for them, they've tried to make changes. They've made so many changes to coaching staff, to players over the last year or so. I'll get our MVP actually. It was Wei. Wei was excellent. Awesome. First games back onto LPL after leaving BLG. And yeah, comes out with a very, very cool Jarvan performance.
Two and 20. What's it? It's come to 96% KP actually. Really impressive stuff. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Can't ask too much more from a Jarvan there.
He was awesome. Honestly, he found the Varus out time after time. Pada is on Varus, on like the Varus play, but awesome Jarvan game. Spell Shield doesn't save you against Cataclysm and CC, you know, because you're still stuck in the walls. You can ignore the damage, it doesn't actually stop everything else, you know. So yeah. Oh, Wei, those dunks onto key targets were insane, actually. I should have called that out more during the game, actually, because I knew they were good, but I should have really praised him, given the fact that he's coming in as a new jungler to a new roster, and making it work like that. Awesome stuff, honestly. Okay, we'll take a bit of a break. There'll be an interview on stage. I'm gonna...
There's a few for Gala, a few for Wei. I think that's fair. That's the split. I think Rookie also obviously played a very good game, but it was actually a pretty good ensemble performance. You could have given it to a few different people.
This is that kind of game. This is one of those games where it's very hard to choose an MVP because there are multiple standout people for multiple different reasons which aren't necessarily comparable. I think Rookie was really good. I really liked his build this game too, actually. I think he was awesome. But yeah, I think Wei and Gala were obviously instrumental to the way that they played. So we're gonna, I guess, take a break. I'll do some freaking horse game, I guess, before we get into the interview. Yeah, so chill out. We'll have some fun, and yeah. Okay, let's hope I don't end this campaign like in the way I did before. We just did the debut last time. So yeah, Gold Ship is that end closer, one of the very few in the game which does that, which means you hang right at the very back of the pack and then you come around on the last corner. But basically, depending on the racing style which you go towards, you want different skills, and the length of race you don't want different skills as well. So the longer the race, the more endurance skills you want. Pretty much every character wants swinging Maestro, it's pretty much just the best skill in the game, and you only get, I think, through... Oh, it's really good to get the full piece in that. Nice. I do kind of want to do an extra race if I can, but maybe I'll just save that for the G1s instead later. That's pretty good. 3-piece on whip. Not bad. Yeah, we'll get a little bit on whip actually. Gold Ship has a load of random events which gives them stats down, which is annoying. Mood up's good. Mood up is very good actually. We go for width again because it's the 3-piece. No visit it? Sure, Shamper.
好，欢迎来到我们的赛后
I
采
don't
访
know
环
what
节。
the
大家好，
events
我
are
是
for
主
this
持
one.
人
Yes,
陈
I
宇。
have to
首
look
先
them
恭
up.
喜 IG 获得了本场比赛的胜利。我们请来打野选手威继续我们的赛后采访，来向大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是 IG 打野小威。
好，欢迎小威，现场的掌声也很热烈啊。那第一个问题当然是想问，今天2比0干净利落拿下了比赛，同时斩获了2连 MVP， 心情如何呢？
Okay, we'll go for a rest after this.
就是心情很好吧，感谢队友。
感谢队友啊，很开心今天有一个这么好的成绩和表现。那第二个问题也会想问，第一把当中，其实你的巨魔发挥非常
70 up, let's go. Getting good look so far.
你经常去做一些野辅的联动，包括反野的一些设计。前期的这样的预设和沟通是怎么去做的呢？
就是巨魔比较好找机会吧，然后田野看到好的机会，他会扣我去看，对，然后就联动比较多吧。
也是很谦虚地给到队友的肯定了。那第三个问题了，也是想问到，在第二把当中，其实第3条龙之前你们是有些劣势的，团非常难接，但第3条龙戏剧性的转折发生在嘎啦一个大招狙掉。
We're not a pace chaser, so that's actually not very good for us, sadly.
当时队内是一个什么样的反应？
当时大家就是在说 Nice
actually don't want to waste energy right now.
Nice 打得好啊！ 给予肯定，同时呢，气氛一下子就好起来了。觉得那波团之后呢，其实胜利的天平就开始倾斜了。那问一下，第4个问题就是第4条龙的时候，你也同样抓住了非常好的一个机会，在草里 EQ 闪抓住了安妮。那一波的时候是怎么沟通的？觉得要提前。
This is best of 3. Yes, all of these are best of 3, but we've now done the first best of 3.
就是靠上面的河道吧，然后安妮一个人落单了，然后
definitely want corner recovery.
那个位置很好，我就开了。
敏锐的嗅觉把握到了这样一个机会。那紧接着
corner recovery goes
抓住
into
安妮
swinging
之后，
maestro later.
我看见你也在拉扯。那这个时候呢，一个维鲁斯闪现到了你的面前，也同样是抓住了那个机会。当时队内的时候，团战其实是分割在两边。
You want a little bit, not too much. I just want to get the training up, really.
当时我记得杀了安妮之后，我们双 C 说看维鲁斯，然后我觉得维鲁斯就是会闪上来，我就在上面等他了。
我也是。 预想到了可能会闪下来，所以故意在那边等他抓住了这个机会。那紧接着呢，也想问，我们都知道小薇你是在第3赛段加入到 IG 这个大家庭当中的。那
what I really need to is get her event stuff really. I don't know what you do.
就是自己适应这个队伍还没有更特别好吧，然后就是自己还是有很多要跟他们就是学的，我觉得。
我觉得还是很谦虚，但同时呢，给自己更多的一个上升空间。没关系，我们可以慢慢打，慢慢好。那最后一个问题，也想问到今天我们现场是座无虚席，有非常多的粉丝朋友来到现场支持 IG， 支持你。还有什么话想要对他们说的呢？
就是感谢大家来现场给我们加油。
Time for a coffee and horse girl racing, I know, right?
屏幕前的，然后因为外面今天下雨嘛，大家回家就注意安全，然后不要感冒。
哇，暖男啊！
I don't want any more
所以
whip
大
in
家
this.
粉丝朋友们也要
Well,
注意安
not
全，
for
外
now.
面下雨啊，回去路上小心。那也希望小威在接下来比赛当中能
Okay,
够发挥
do we have
出色
anything for。
好
skills?，
那我们的
No.
赛后采访环节呢，到这里
Yeah,
就
no
告
worries.
一段落了。接下来请欣赏一
Oh, it's a
精彩的
G1.
一段
Let's go.
spotlight
Yeah, G1's really good for fans. Really, really good for fans. We need to make sure we have 60,000 fans by year 3.
先打吧。可以看猴子，给猴子点压力吧，田野。
This is
他们有
fine.
双城的，他们有双城的。
哎，来了来了。
Okay, and we'll see whether we can break through the pack. This could be a bit of... I don't know whether we win this one. We have decent stats.
可以看，慢慢看。
I played one gold ship run. She refused to train. I decided to not for me. Oh, Zero, add me. I've got Super Creek as my guest card, and if you're not following anyone with that.
轮他妈没闪，轮他妈
I
没
also
闪。
have a really good
我可以，我可以，
like whatever's not, you know, like your the thing that you trade
我可以
over.
杀，我可以杀，我可以杀。
慢点，先。
他没到，他没到，他点了，他点了。哎，
Flies man.
感觉还可以压呀。
Yeah, gold ship is apparently just really hard to get all the luck in the right way, which makes sense because in real life, gold ship is an incredibly notoriously
哎，我看他，
weird
别管我，
horse.
别管我，你们杀他就行了。OK， 点草。哎，没死。
See you guys. Oh right. Oh, everyone take care of. Oh, sorry, he said everyone take care. Oh, sorry. Chaos is
没闪。
Let me just read through the comments one sec.
回来，拉回来。
Messages.
你看我操
后台，
容易波呀，容易波。
nice，一波。
白色。先。
He calls himself Xiaowei. Oh, late start's bad. He calls himself Xiaowei, little Wei. When Mako sees a good angle, he will call me over to go. Call me to go over. That's really cool. There's a lot I still have to learn from my teammates. Everyone take care of yourselves. Don't get sick. It's raining in the arena right now. Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet, actually. Okay, so we're meant to be an end chaser anyway, so we don't mind being towards the back of the pack. Corner recovery makes this better. If we didn't get corner recovery, I think getting rushed and late start would kind of kill us. We need a good ult now, I think. If we get a good ult, I think we should still be fine. It can happen anywhere from halfway through the race. Because we're an end closer, this isn't bad, actually. We're ahead of where we should be for an end closer. Do we get ult? It'd be really good to win this. If we don't win this, it's like fine, but it's not like a great run if we lose it. Come on, please give me an ult. Ah, she's not gonna get it. Okay. 9th though for an end closer. This is still fine, I think. Getting corner recovery makes this a lot better. I think we're fine. I think we are. Come on. Yeah, we're good. Turn on the afterburners now. Good stuff. Yeah, awesome stuff. Cool. We had pretty bad luck on this one where we got both of the like RNG debuffs of late start and then getting rushed in the early part of the race. Have I posted my trainer ID somewhere? Yeah, it's in a gaming channel on my Discord, Zero. Good stuff. Oh, this is the LNG intro for their arena. Oh yeah, the drop kick. Chat, you've been drop kicked. Good gold ship, man. Okay, into LNG's arena for the second split though. Not second split, second thing of the day. So if by year 3 we want 60,000 by February. So we will need to take an extra G1 event at some point. That's good. Winning the first G1 is really good, especially without RNG as well. Okay, are there any other G1s we can take? Let's get some extra skill points. I kind of want some extra power. 3 on guts is pretty hard. I need to do the friendship maxing, don't I? I don't have enough at, I need to get all of these up to like rainbow standards soon. Because I'm losing out on a lot of stats by not doing that. Extra chaining. I don't want extra guts training. Guts is not worth training pretty much ever. But I've already got a level 2, which is a problem. I've been not having... That's awesome. Cool. 5 piece on that? Fucking awesome. Yeah, we don't turn that down. You really want power on the end closes. Like, really want them on that. I kind of want this... Even though this is... Yeah. We want a G1. We want to do a G1 at some point. See how many tries? They've got 4 turns. Anything between now and then? Could do another that should be okay. I think we just do a couple of extra G1s in the next year. We do this just to get more Rainbow onto an extra 2, I think. That gives me speed, right? Cool. We take a rest now. Yeah, we take a rest now. Unless there's a race we want to do. Nope. Okay, so this is going to be TT versus LNG coming up next, which is Group Nirvana game. LNG have been, well, both these teams have been struggling. LNG have 0 leadership. They look very off the pace. They look very, very poor right now, sadly for them. We really need to start training speed. This is a problem that we've not trained speed at all. Okay, remains great. That's good. This is good. We can get just straight away something or other. Straight away adept. That's good. 1 hint. Not the worst, but it could be better. 1 turn left. What day is it? March. Oh, we get inspiration next turn anyway. Awesome. Cool. We get inspiration next turn. That's very good. And we definitely go for Rainbow Speed here. Probably battle for last place. I mean, probably say the same about Ultra Prime though, sadly. They didn't look fantastic. Group Nirvana doesn't look too bad. I think EDG looks really good. NIP don't look awful either, actually. Did we get straightaway recovery? Straightaway recovery is still pretty good too, actually. But we want speed on this one, I think. Focus is okay. Don't have enough points for that. Did we get telehealth high? I guess we go straightaway recovery then.
欢迎一禅选手。那首先第一个问题啊，回顾一下上一场比赛，你们不仅仅是让1对2赢下的，而且你实力差的奥贝留斯也是惊艳全场。那今天面对到苏州 LNG， 你觉得如果想要打出对线压制，需要在哪些方面更加努力呢
？And race day. So look what our
前期的对线细节做好了，然后
Okay, we're in decent stats position. This is a medium, so we don't really need the
那么第二个问题是，现在第3赛段涅槃嘴是打一个双循环嘛？对于你们来说，认识多了更多以赛代言的机会。那你觉得在这个过程当中，对于自己和队伍的挑战是什么呢？
希望能先排前2吧，然后争取去打7胜。
好的，那也是非常期待你们赛场的表现了，加油
！Honestly, we've had a good run so far. This has been good.
同样呢，我们也邀请到了苏州
We'll be able to
上
like
单
complete the
选
campaign.
手
We've got really good
先跟大
stats,
家打个招呼吧。
and the support cards I've got make it pretty easy to get through all of like the guaranteed races.
欢迎紫卡
But
选
it's just
手。
whether
那
I
首
get
先
a
第一个
gold chip
问
or to
题，
actually
马上
use
就要迎来
afterwards,
和 TT 的比
basically.
赛了。那么大家现在的备战状态怎么样？今天会把侧重点放在哪里呢？
经过上一把的失利，然后我们调整了一下我们的游戏方向吧。今天主要是以矿龙跟打支援团为主。
是的，那也非常期待你们今天的一个调整。那么卓在上一次前采当中有提到组内赛的目标是涅槃组第1嘛？那你觉得如果要朝这个目标迈进的话，队伍迫切需要调整的是哪方面呢？
我觉得我们前面的换线处理
No, like starts good.
运营吧，其实都还不错吧。
So we'll be at the back of the pack for most of this because we're the only people doing like end game chaser. Or end closer rather. So even if we're outside of last place, that means we're overperforming, which is good. Which we should be with our stats, but still, you can never tell too much. So we have straightaway recovery and we have corner recovery. Corner adept is very, very good too. Okay, that's good. Corner adept is a hell of a skill. This is why you always want corner and straightaway stuff, because it pretty much always procs. They'll be coming out on stage now.
欢迎来到2025英雄联盟职业联赛第3赛段，麒麟锐气破晓而击。今天苏州 LNG 战队将在主场羊城国际电竞馆迎战 PT 战队，让我们有请双方对阵
we're
战
doing
队。
really well. Yeah. We shouldn't be this far up. Well, still quite. We'd like to be a little bit further up. Oh, there's the ult. Oh yeah, I forgot that I've got the star piece for her, so she's level 2 now on that. We're gonna need to get a bit of a shift on here. We just not have the stats for this or what? We need to make a push here. We really need to make a push here.
首先欢迎 Thunder Cup Gaming，
Oh, there we go. Cool, awesome.
打野阿 K， 中
Oh,
单
it's gonna get close. Oh, it's gonna get close. I don't know if we have the stats. I don't know if we have the stats. That helps. Is it gonna be second or first? Second or first? Second or first? Come on, come on, come on. Let's go.
欢迎苏州 LNG
Nice
Esports 上单紫卡
Push it out.
打野小方 中单海超，下路 LB， 辅助
We need more speed.
卓
We need more speed power. Get drop kicked. Get drop kicked. Still not the most confident. Gold clearly is only allowed to get gold. If only that were the case. If only that were the case.
LPL 第3赛段常规赛组内赛第2周第4日的第2场比赛，由 TT 对阵苏州
Hey Munch, how's it going? I'm so. Hey Munch, oh my god, good to see you.
无畏进巅峰。
Dude, being a game dev in Asia is so easy. Wait, what do you mean being a game? Oh, being a game dev in Asia, right? Yeah, because of the horse game. This is peak esports gaming. I'm playing a highly complex racing game with inbuilt RNG pulling systems, which keep people. What the frick? What the heck happened there? What do you mean, like training stuff's been restricted? What happened there? What happened? Train's great. What do you mean by training options have been restricted? I can only do stamina? What? Why? Why? Can I do a thing here instead? Can I do a race? Is there another G1? I can do a... Yeah, I'll do this next, actually. I don't really want to do that. Can I just do 2 races in a row? I could do 2 races in a row. They're long. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna do 2 races in a row. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you're watching horse racing without the only good reason to watch horse racing, which is betting. Well, because I'm not losing anything physically, I feel like I'm doing away with the evils of horse racing while still being emotionally invested in something which makes me feel something, you know? Gotta have that sometimes. Okay, we are gonna get into, like, game at some point. Let's do another race, actually. Oh, is this going into draft? We will not do that then. Because we're going into draft now. And we will do this later. Let's get into draft, folks. First game between TT and LNG. LNG have looked slow, they have looked leaderless, and they've looked like they might be the worst team within Group Nirvana. They need to change something. Aki on the other side has joined TT after leaving NIP. He's had a weird old career. He's had, yeah, honestly, Munchables is great to see. By the way, Munchables, if you'd ever feel like coming back and doing like a random LPL series at some point, you let me know, because goddamn, I miss you. Sorry, Sam. I'm cheating on you with Munch.
Wow.
You know.
I mean, good taste.
I'm sorry, you weren't meant to hear that, Sam.
Good taste.
I miss you, Munch. And next time we're around Nottingham, we better meet up again, because Munch is quite close to home for us, which is very, very cool. Okay, so first draft here, LNG, they do lock in, they do get that Varus. They don't choose to lock in the Varus Rumble, they go towards the Aurora. A lot of power picks left available, the Talir and the Sivir locked in for TT.
So, Talir, Sivir, Alistair, as you know, to be on the other side, LNG, we just saw Aurora do silly things in teamfights, add in the Varus, and life is good there. And in the Jarvan, and you've got yourself a very nasty pick combo. We saw what Aurora plus Jarvan ults could do.
And now you have Jarvan Aurora into 2 immobile carries of the Talir and the Sivir. That is pretty unplayable, actually. The more I think about it, it's pretty unplayable for those carries if they're ever caught out. Feather will be trying to play disengage, maybe try and knock Jarvan out of his combo. You can sometimes do that. TT better ban away. Oh no, I wonder if they do ban away the Sylas, just knowing that the Aurora could go top lane. And we, of course, saw the value of the Sylas Aurora last game. They ban away the Rumble. But yeah, I wonder whether they have to get rid of the Sylas, because the Aurora top lane into the Sylas mid is something that we saw from WE. I'm sure that teams have been aware of that in scrims.
Here comes the Poppy ban and the Cassante ban. Hoya does love both of those champions, actually. Has been a bit of a quiet Poppy aficionado. And of course, Aki would have quite liked it here into a fair amount of dashes. The Poppy, the Jarvan, both would have, the Aurora, the Jarvan, both would have suffered there. And does often neuter a lot of engaged comps at the minute. All the while, looking to ban some big top lane options. Zeka, of course, wins a big Rumble play when he gets the chance. And the Gwen's already gone, so It will be another one of those big top lanes, but they go towards the Rakan instead.
So I think you lock support here, and you think about doing a Sylas last pick into a good matchup mid lane. I think that's what you end up doing.
And switch the Aurora top.
So you pick whatever lane dominant support you want. The Nico will do that. It's not fantastic anymore. We've seen it lose a lot of priority since finally the clone technique to increase vision with the emotes is gone. It's a less valuable pick now. So that'll come through for Dwarf.
Happens there. Sion now a consideration as well for Hoya, who does like to pick up some of those big tank matchups when he isn't looking at the Rumble or whatever. And we'll lock that one in. Of course, 1xN coming off the back of an exceptional Aphelios game and some good work there from Thunder Talk to make sure they at least got a game win or two in there. And Sivir, late game hyperscaler, I'm on that board. Aki debating his shins out here for a little bit of early skirmishing power between that and Talia. Your power in mid jungle very, very high.
I think honestly you just go the Sylas last pick. I think you go the Sylas last pick. Now you know that your Aurora will be into the tank top side. It gives you have the Alistar ult, you have the Shinzao ult. I personally think that they choose not to. The Aurora stays mid, the Ambessa goes top. You do have more follow-up engage now. If the Jarvan manages to get someone into the Cataclysm, Ambessa's going to be right in there with them. LNG, good dive, and it's proactivity in a way that they didn't show in their last series. LNG were so goddamn slow and leaderless in their last series. They must find a way to find proactivity because it was simply not good enough in their last series. TT on the other side, of course, another group Nirvana team. The teams down here are teams with flaws. They've had struggles. And TT, they've changed out, of course, their jungler. They had Baytron, he left for BLG. He's now gone from BLG now to Likely. We'll see what happens to him later into that split. Likely playing a series for BLG. See what happens to his Shadow after that point. TT were playing with Xiao Huangren, and now they brought in Aki between the last split and this one to try and give them some kind of more firepower and leadership in the jungle themselves. Some mixed results. His Lee Sin was awesome the other day, but Aki has always been a very streaky player. We're getting the heads or tails of the Aki coin today.
Yeah, he had a couple good games last time out. Very good Lee Sin, for example. But before that, there've been some really ugly games, guys. I hate to say it, but Aki, of course, now, having been through a few different teams and struggled on a few of them, has got quite a lot to prove here to undo some of the distaste fans have managed to pick up, unfortunately, around some of the levels of play that he was showing on stage. Our comps for our first game of this series. To pick lots of early skirmishing there. Barris and Nico on the side of LNG. TT, see 1xN on the hyper carry. I feel pretty okay for them.
Absolutely, 1xN, one of our best hyper carries and one of our best newer AD carries up towards this region. Had a great time in the LDL. Showed his stuff in his first year on TT. Trying to show himself some more. Let's hear those gyros.
There we have it. Good gyroing there from the crowds. We are in I say Shenzhen. I don't think that is correct for LNG, is it?
Suzhou.
Suzhou, yeah.
NIP is Shenzhen. Yeah. So you have W in Xi'an, JDG in Beijing, LNG in Suzhou, and NIP within Shenzhen. So, yeah, four arenas. I am obligated to tell you folks that we might again have a 6 teleport game. There is an extra teleport on LP's Varus, and a potential extra teleport on the spellbook of Feather's Alistar as well. I'm not going to lie, Sam. I like seeing creative use of summoners. I don't like seeing this flash aside, because I actually like the way that flash impacts the game. I really don't like the fact that teleport is just suddenly everywhere again, even after all the nerfs. It means that the actual combat, it feels like you lose that aggressive touch because everyone's just resetting all the time and teleporting randomly.
Back in, yeah. And again, I'm starting to see 8 teleport games where AD carries running and spellbooks are coming through from supports particularly. It's everyone but junglers running TP. We're not miles off bloody TP Shaco jungle. Aki, we find an early wrap around here. Level 2 gank a possibility. Headbutt back it off. Feather, beautiful angle. LP needs to flash up. He's interrupted. It's wonderful from Thunder Talk.
Feather, take a bow. The level 1 Alistar headbutt. I have never seen that from that angle in my life. LP trying to stay away from the bush to make sure there was no random outplay to happen. He goes towards the fat wall though, and it means he can't flash over. Of course he can't. He would have just been flash followed by Aki anyway, especially with the red buff ticking. Awesome play. Very time efficient from Aki 2. Doesn't lose that much time. He will need to be a little bit wary of now Xiaofeng having a play on the map.
Again, trying to hang towards his own jungler, but Xiaofeng is there. Flash away for that, but there's still the flag, the drag. And the Unraveled Earth comes on through to no avail. Pick up kill from LNG in the mid lane.
Yeah, Setup needed to be much more careful there. Your jungler has showed bot side. They know he's under level 2 and will have to spend time clearing his way through the map. There is no way that he can get to mid lane in time. Setup needed a better awareness of where Xiaofeng was on the map. I know it sucks because you feel like you're just going to get zoned out to the wave, but you're going to die there likely anyway.
And to be fair, like, I get that he was hanging towards the bot side of his map because that's where his jungler was. The problem with Xiaofeng has already got round that side of the map. Aki will pick up the wolves. Speed of lane up. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in terms of the jungle ganks. The question is, where is it going to be more valid? Because Aurora, pretty scary. The problem is on the other side, the Sivir getting early kills and an early cull.
Getting a level 1 cull alongside Doran's Blade when you're a scaling carry, when it's 1xN playing the scaling carry as well, is a very, very bad sign for LNG. Now, they do have tools to get onto that hyper carry later into the game. We talked about that already, right? You're going to have Flash Nico, you're going to have Jarvan, Aurora, and then the Ambassador following up on that too. But you're going to have to really nail down that Sivir, otherwise it's going to be hellish in the team fights.
And Zaka forced away from the wave there. We like to reset. Trample came on through. They're being very aggressive early on here. And early lane swap as well off that with the way the waves were coming. Let's get that Sivir towards. Second wave going to drop about 5 CS for it, depending on how this wave tracks out. But still, good spot as Aki gets a wrap around towards this mid lane. How aggressive do they want to play this?
I think without red buff on the Shinzao and also the wave under turret, you don't really want to buy into a 50-50 with the chance of someone else randomly joining the play. 1xN, Feather, freezing the wave away from Zucker too. That's nasty. It's not like there are grubs up yet. You can wait for this to build up. You can get a slow crash later, and Zucker will be losing bits of farm. Alistair very good at denying waves. He can just headbutt you away from it too. There's not much that Zucker can really do about the situation.
Recho goes across the veil and throws out a weird ink for a bit of poke. Misses the twofold hex, but hey, it's in an alright spot. Drop continuing to roam around, letting the Varus 1v1 versus that Scion for now.
Look at this. No, Feather just denies them part of that wave. Does end up getting the cannon, though. It did aggro onto him, but the fact that he's being forced to overextend like this, he will be dropping bits and pieces of minions and putting himself at danger. If Feather can just headbutt him away from the wave a couple of times, he's going to start losing farm. On the other side, can't really stop the Scion doing that much.
It's very hard to stop Scion, especially with the comp you've got. You don't have displacement, you don't have that much interrupt until, say, I suppose level 6 from the Varus, but even that's just a root. It's not actually a stun or anything.
Mistake there from Feather, went a little bit too far from 1xN, meant that he couldn't interrupt the damage combo from Zucker, which actually does chunk out the Sivir significant amount. Means that Zucker is actually doing much better on the weak side than I would have thought he was doing. He has really been the star player for LNG in this very dark era for them. This is the LNG Dark Ages. They've had a very, very difficult year. They went from LPL finalists, they went from
semi-finalists.
Yeah, about how long ago would it have been? About 8-9 months ago. They were undefeated in World Swiss stage.
Yeah.
3-0, made it quickly up towards the best of 5 stage. Of course, bombed out in that first 1-2 against Weibo, who then destroyed them in the quarterfinals and made it through to their own semis at the hands of Tarzan, their old jungler, of course, too. But now at LNG, this is the bottom of the barrel. This is the bottom of the barrel. They have made their bed with multiple roster changes and able to hang on to players like Scout. Tons of drama with him and his departure from EDG. Legal proceedings ended up happening. It's now paid off all of those fines, of course, as announced by himself and by JDG, the organization too. I saw him play earlier. But LNG have come off very poorly away from the last 2 off seasons or so.
It's been difficult. Been very difficult. Sure here though, in the form of a minion. Does get the root onto the Alistair, into the arrow after, so Feather eats a bit of a chunk there, but not too much more.
Question in chat, who has the better draft? Well, you know, it's always a hard, difficult conversation to have, right? I think LNG have lots of ways to get onto the backline carries. TT have lots of ways to disengage for them. So you have the Alistair popping ult, you have the Scion charging Q. One of the best things you can do with the Scion actually against multiple melees is literally just cast your Q at your own carry. You won't do damage to them, but if anyone goes melee, Q hits them.
Yeah.
So you've got ways to disengage from that. I think personally, having the Sivir with that first kill and getting that cull stacked up, I personally think TT are in a better position with the draft.
LNG will probably come online that little bit earlier, though, because they've gone for the Aurora and Varus as their characters. Deco, even, I suppose, as that kind of support playmaker, whereas the Sivir does, generally speaking, need at least 2 items to be doing something and about 3 to be genuinely scary. Of course, the early kill will help accelerate that, but it is still going to be another 15 minutes or so before 1xN is truly the big dog on the rift. And speaking of potentially dangerous moments, Xiaofeng is around this top side here on the Jarvan.
Not really going to be doing much in terms of this 2v2. It's mainly just here for the grubs. 10 seconds until it comes up. 1xN will get rid of that wave. We'll have no level 6 for this one, whereas LP does. LP's had a bit more solo farm time, whereas it's been shared between Feather and 1xN. Means that Alistar ult will be up. How close are they to that level 6? If both bot laners get level 6 before Nico does, I think they can fight. That's why they're really shoving for this wave. If they can get that, they get level 6, and maybe they can get a good fight afterwards. Grubs being delayed by Aki. Yeah, level 6 hit by the bot lane. Sivir immediately uses it, I think, to go down to... No, okay, I was just wondering if the icon appeared and then disappeared. That's what really confused me. What the heck? It's like, wow, it disappeared. You must have used it. Can they fight now with the Alistar 6?
Maybe. There comes the smite. Ends up being a 1-1 of the grubs trades right now. Aki looking to get on top of this one. Doesn't have his smite available. Xiaofeng will. Look at the other side of 1xN, trading up with LP. And sure, looking to turn around. The exhaust comes on in. Flash away there from Xiaofeng to quit 1xN inside the Cataclysm, who failed to get out of the wall. Is not hit by between worlds, though. The weirding across the wall buys some time. 1xN with the spell shield, getting himself a bit of healing, but just can't get far enough. The flash for the auto nearly didn't get him. Finally, they're going to continue running. It took so long to kill the damn Sivir. They're now in a weird spot. Seismic Shove comes on forward. Threaded volley onto LP, who's been aggroed by the blue buff. Aki comes on through with the audacious charge. Now Xiaofeng needs to consider getting away. There is the hop away. What can he do in the wolf camp pit? Flag and drag onto the other side. Won't see him on the wolves. Can they spot him over here? Seismic Shove just wide, but it's spotted regardless.
The Seismic Shove stops the recall, even if the E doesn't hit. So the fight ends up being, I believe, a 3-for-2 overall, as LNG got the 1 kill earlier on to the Tilly. Yep, I am counting right. Fights early in the game, sure it's hard to count the death timers. And TT will get 2 grubs out of it. Yes, they end up losing their Sivir through it, but LNG can't really get themselves the fight which they want, even with arguably the better early, well, definitely the better early game damage. Exhaust went onto the Jarvan, which meant that the Cataclysm didn't work out that well. Flash away from the Nico spells means that even though 1xN doesn't have that much mana, he's still buying time. Spell, shields, and arrows. Use the barrier. Even in such a bad spot, he buys like an extra 4 or 5 auto attacks from the combined team of LNG, and that allows the Shins out and the Talia to get round to a second round of cooldowns, allows them to pick up the fight.
And that's after 1xN as well ended up in this really weird position where he flashed, failed to get out of the Cataclysm, and then got caught between the Cataclysm wall and the terrain.
Oh, you're right. It absolutely did just miss there, but he stopped the recall anyway. I don't think it would have mattered. It gave vision all the same.
That's what it did. The vision was so important, and manages to get quite a lot there.
The way that the Spectator worked there, I didn't think that Talia W gave vision. I'm still pretty sure it doesn't, actually.
I think
it might have been a minion which came through.
What you get is you get a little AoE around where your spell goes, if you see what I mean.
I'm not gonna lie, in all my years of playing Talia,
I've not played that much Talia, so I might be wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, I think it might have actually just been a minion coming through or whatever.
That would have been impressive. That might be more
Look, okay, I'm sure there's a really reasonable explanation which I'm just missing because I can't.
It could just be that it does.
It's like, wow, Aki came around the corner or whatever. Dragon's now available, might get another fight around this. No first items in for most of the team, but the junglers both have them interestingly. Sundered Sky is a hell of a first item spike.
Both junglers got 2 kills from that last fight, so they're feeling pretty happy right now. And again, this is the Shins out at his highest point of power. Hoya coming on down, can look to ult on in. It's the Lumberjack looking to fell some trees. Feather rooted by the Tangle Barbs. TP walk behind in that red, but that Raptor pick. Keep your eyes on it. Hai Chao is around. If you get interesting, if TT are being corralled, Feather will cleanse that ult with his own. In comes Hoya looking for an angle, but the public execution, the Pop Blossom, headbutted away, buying some time. Varus is dead, but so is Sivir. What's happening is everyone's being knocked up and around. Zucker looking for some engages now as he begins to Drakehound step across the backline. Hoya flashing away from the flag and the drag. Jor can look for Tangle Barbs, potentially onto that sign just about wide. It's a 1 fight for LNG, but TT did get the dragon.
Yeah, really good teleport angle from Zucker. 1xN just couldn't play. And while I do think TT do have some disengaged tools angles. They weren't in position there because they weren't expecting such an angle from the top player of LNG. And Bessa gets onto the Sivir and makes their life hell. Hard to play as the Sivir here. You don't want to be stuck against the wall, especially without your flash to get over it. See that 1xN is umming and ahhing. Does he want to buy into the fight? They do eventually buy into it, and sadly he's hit by pretty much everything. The Aurora ult tags him, Jarvan gets him, and Bessa comes up the top. 1xN, not the best team fight from him. He'll need to do better later, as Jarvan got a 3-man Q through there, getting huge damage in the clump.
With that flash and caught between 3 different people. I'm not sure there was a direction to run there, so at some point...
Well, okay. What I will say is, you don't step forwards into the Aurora ult damage when you see it's happening. Because so the weird thing about Aurora, it takes a little while for the ult to kind of expand and to get the damage towards the outer ring. Sometimes you see the ring appearing like, oh, okay, I can step into it. He stepped into it too early and took the damage, which is the big issue.
Ends up taking a little bit too much then. High Chow in a fantastic spot. 3-1 and 3 on this Aurora. 6 stacks in the Dark Seal. Yeah, that Aurora will be a problem.
1xN, one more wave until he gets himself cull stacked in, cashed in. Still ahead in gold, the 1 gold lead for TT, courtesy of that first kill, and of course the cull, and the fact that he's got a slight CS lead for now. That's the cull locked in. He'll want to recall. Can he get himself to an important item breakpoint? Gotta say though, with Jarvan with this amount of gold, I'm quite worried for 1xN and his ability to carry the game. Earlier I was saying TT, early advantage on the Sivir. I'm sure they'll be played, in a good spot for the rest of the game, even though it's a difficult draft to play as an immobile carry. Now I'm not so sure, because this Jarvan is fed. Xiaofeng, of course, one of our junglers, which is now in his 2nd year, I believe, now in the LPL, making a big impact in this game.
What you can do with this lead, and again, it could get a little bit interesting, to say the least. Cull is now cashed in. Fairly good job trying to get some value out of that Aki around here. Looking to the potential way towards something. Can't quite do it. See what happens over the next few moments. Got about a minute or so until Herald. How much of an item 1xN picks up with 3 complete boots, or goes towards a part complete on item number 2.
I don't know if TT can fight without Sivir Flash. If Sivir loses Flash, I think the fight's pretty unplayable.
It has to be a really good headbutt away from Fed then. Even then, I just don't know how easy it is, because the last time we saw it, Xiaofeng flashed over it.
And while I agree for something like the flag drag or something like that, you cannot stop the Cataclysm. You're unstoppable during the cast time of that, and as long as the walls are around Sivir, I think the fight is over. Now, with that in mind, Jarvan very powerful, can be a little bit more brazen looking for that Cataclysm. LNG should feel confident about the next couple of fights. If they can force the Sivir Flash, TT can't really contest anything. I don't think so. TT will try their best to protect their carry. They need to get good vision down, stop those unexpected angles from the Ambessa, the Aurora Jarvan, everyone dunking down on the Sivir. 1xN has a hell of a lot of work to do to stay alive.
See what he can do, and again, he's got some tools around to help that happen, but I think at this point of the game, when you've got pretty much everyone can gun for his head in some capacity, all of the ultimates here are miserable for Sivir.
I'll start it up. This is better terrain for TT. There's also no vision on top side for LNG. They do have pet escapes if they want to go for some of those tricky engages. And the flanking angles. Sion walking up the river. Zach has a teleport coming up in a few seconds, I believe. Can't do it right now. Sion going around the back of the play.
That could get very interesting. We'll find an angle onto somehow. Joy's got bounced around. That was surely a spectator, but now LP's in danger. Might be losing his namesake as Feather ghosting, looking to get the trample proc, and they'll get the kill on the Varus.
Folks, I don't know if we're going to get a pause about that. That Sion, I think he ended up bugging his ultimate. The angle there was a little bit different to what I expected. We'll watch the replay. I don't know if that's one of those tricky Sion ult bugs because it catches LNG completely out of surprise. You get a huge fight, and they use the hell to immediately take the tower.
I just don't know what exactly that was. It might have been a spectator bug. Talia does get out, actually, and now Xiaofeng might be in a spot of bother. Will Cataclysm forward, Jaw throws down the Tangle Bobs. High shot with the Between Worlds, looking for a bit more. TP coming on through, sat up without the flash, can now be in danger. Flashed on top of, has got a sound shot, misses the seismic shove and will be traded.
Will be traded back. So TT come away with a 1 play. Dragon is spawning now, and LNG are back out onto the map. They'll end up not taking the Dragon, will TT. They'll leave that over towards LNG and instead put Sion topside with nothing really to... Well, they could teleport Ambassador up, I suppose, to try and save plates on topside.
We will do that. Again, they have got a couple grubs, and Sion should be able to get a fair chunk here with a Demolish.
I really need to see a replay of that fight. It might have been a spectator bug, but I just don't think Cyanol, at that part in his ultimate, can angle it that way. It's a huge amount of damage. If you get hit by Cyanol after it's been charged up for a while, especially at the level 11 Mark 2, rank 2 of it, you are losing like a good third of your HP, quarter to a third of your HP as a carry. It was one of the reasons why Cyan was so OP in season, 5, 6, 7 odd towards like the start of his rework career, because his damage was utterly insane if you could land everything. See the replay again. What happened here? It is! That's a bug! It's a bug! They should pause that! That is not correct! I was right in calling that out. Yeah. Hoya just bugged the Cyanol. That is a game-changing bug. I hate to say it, folks, this should be a Chrono Break game.
Is that... Is that a known interaction? Because there is a list where
No, that is not an intended interaction for Cyan Ultimate. There are some ways that you can end up losing it. That should be a Chrono Break. That is a game-winning bug for TT. They don't realize it at the time. League officials should be pausing the game. LNG just got done in by a Cyan bug.
Reminder, I don't think League officials are allowed to pause it. It has to be the players.
League officials can do as well. They can announce it for a few things. Next fight going on, though.
Keep on headbutting forwards. Big chunk on forwards. Overcomes Setup, but it's into the Pot Blossom. Still going to kill off the job. Into the side, into the Cataclysm they go. Aki gets some damage back, and they will bring down the Nico as well. The Piercing Arrow gets 2. Haichao now in danger. 1xN continues to throw out auto after auto after auto. Ricochet's coming on through. Gets the additional auto down onto that flower, keeping things rolling, trying to ricochet through the wave, get some more onto Haichao. Setup looking for a bit more. It's messy. 2 for 2, all things said and done. Jungle and support both dead.
TT using their top lane to push out top lane as well. Zucker not getting the best of that trade, actually. Hoya doing well with his Sunfire Cape and his Tabi against that. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just flabbergasted that that bug has happened and not been paused for. I mean, if I can tell that live on casting it, the players should be able to tell that in game as well. That is not an expected alt angle. This is what happened as we were coming out of this play. Aki got some great damage down, but the double arrows, he said later, really the game changer. Flag drag missed out a lot of that burst. And while there is a huge Nico Aurora, the Shinzo ult gets arguably a lot more value. What happens here is just the lineup gets both there. Should never line up like that to give Varus a double shot. Ends up getting both.
Hugely valuable there. Now Aki going to pick up a Scuttle Crab. The gold is still very even here, but the second item is now on in for this Sivir. But of course, because LP picked up a couple kills, the gold lead that Sivir has kind of disappeared. But again, Varus, you would hope, would be a little bit further ahead of the curve at this point in the game. Hasn't happened so far. Turret's picked up by TT. Second dragon for LNG. Feats of strength, not claimed, I think, by either team. Oh no, sorry, it has been picked up by TT, who I think got first turret and enough of the early objectives as well to secure those, and that's an extra little bit of boon their way. 2 minutes till next dragon.
TT still have their summoners on Sivir. We said that was a big point for them. 1xN struggling to get damage down so far, actually, on the whole. That was the point. The spectator was baiting us there. You know, sometimes the camera moves a certain way and you think, okay, well, that's happened X, Y, Z ways. About to get set up towards the Rylai's too. And that's going to be important because there'll be a lot of extra HP and the Seraph Shield for him. What's up next? Atacon obviously big on the table. Did you mention the Atacon coming up?
I did not know.
Cool. Right. Well, good. I didn't have to reinstate your point then. Cool. 1xN, in fact, going towards lifesteal next item, wanting to survive the dive, thinking, look, I don't actually need Lord Omic's Regards or Infinity Edge. What I need to do is survive. Bloodthirst potentially up there. Or it might just be, hang on. No, it might just be a stop off for the Vamp Scepter.
We'll see exactly what he decides to go for, but I see the value here nonetheless. There's enough poke here for that to be valuable.
Sucker's on a great angle. If he walks over that ward, will he be spotted? Not sure about that.
Engage now onto Feather, who breaks the will, makes the will unbreakable. Chains of Corruption flashed away from. Should be able to get out here as the Supreme World comes on down. Won't go too much further.
Haichao using the ult there. It's a bit strange.
It's a minute until Dragon, so maybe it does have a bit of time before it comes back up, so it could be a bit more liberal with it.
Yeah, it doesn't have any cooldown reduction in his build, though, so that might end up being... Well, probably will be up if it's a slower fight. I can't imagine at rank 2 it's a 60-second cooldown. I seem to remember that was a little longer.
Third off already, so
this is how this play happened on bot side. I mean, it's just a flag drag hitting as Alistair forced to blow that ult. Of course, that will be halfway off cooldown right now. Only the first rank of it, so that one...
bit more lengthy.
Yeah, well, he does have the cooldown boost, actually, so he's doing alright on that front. TT, waiting, biding their time.
Shoving up mid lane again. Thunder Talk with that Herald play, despite, I think, Setup over eager in getting back in the Herald. Still did get that mid-tier 1. So it's giving them a lot of shove because Sivir can clear waves like nobody's business. And yes, Varus very good at controlling mid lane wave, yada, yada, yada. But you don't have a turret behind you, so the waves still going to be forced back. It's making LNG's pick options, a lot more narrow when they are constantly having to sort of like walk around the extra vision that's just given by not having mid-tier 1.
Can LNG get onto the carries? They're 2 items now. They're not like game-ending potential, but they're definitely much scarier than they were. Hai Chao, ultimate's coming up in a handful of seconds. Alistair ult is up now. Arrow hitting. That poke is obviously very nasty. No more amount of transformation just yet from LP. Triple teleport for LNG if they want to get Trixie. Hex gates if they want to get even more so. Do TT start the dragon? They should do.
Hai Chao on a flank angle. Does have the ult back up. That will be valuable. Also, Zucker on a flank can look to collapse. I don't know whether TT have enough vision here to stop all of the various people collapsing on in. Dragon down to 2000 HP should be secure. No! Flag Dragon is steal by Xiaofang. Coming for the pop blossom. Doesn't actually get as much value as they were hoping for. Need to go across the wall to get out to safety. As actually LNG ended up really split apart here. The Weaver's Wall angle. Potentially dangerous from Setab, who looks to get more value on Xiaofang here. Has to sidestep that seismic shot, but is hit by the wind. Becomes lightning as a result. Jungler down alongside the support. I think that's Atacam for TT and trade for the Dragon.
Is soul point for LNG. Good steal through from Xiaofang. The flag drag combo always been a good amount of damage onto objectives in your steal attempt. Manages to get that, but yes, you're right. It will be the Atacam going down. And TT already had the hang on a second. W arrow from Varus. Can he steal it? No, he can't. Ooh. Won't die for the attempt either. Was a little bit worried about that. Atacam will go down. TT will get big value out of this. It will give them more value from all the battles they already have.
24, see exactly what it goes up to at the back end of this. Up to, my days, 34-7. That is a lot of extra stats.
Yeah.
It's something like 1,000 gold per 10-ish. Something like that, if I remember my maths correctly. And so they are a couple grand, basically, in stats that are not on screen.
Go back to a replay of this where Q over the wall. It's a really good sound Q outside of vision from the plant. Also stops off to hit one of those plants as well. I appreciate that. Hoya doing a good job of, really good job of frontlining here. Yes, the steal comes through, but while that is happening, Sion has forced Varus and the Nico to step backwards. That means they can't really get into the play in the way that they wanted to. Honestly, this team fight is won by that Sion ultimate. The Weaver's Wall comes out after 2. But great job from Hoya. Look, Hoya's had some duff games, but sometimes his frontline play can be absolutely fantastic. And right there, good ultimate there to force him back. Sivas died while we were in replay, okay? Would have liked to see that one, folks.
Yeah, looks like there was a Cataclysm burn, so I'm assuming it's just Flashless Sivir getting jumped on by all the tools that will punish a Flashless Sivir.
Yeah, Cataclysm, anything else used? No, that was the big ultimate. Baron coming up in a minute. I mean, it's a dangerous world to live in as a Sivir without Flash. We've been talking about the whole damn game in LNG. Credit to them. Last series, they looked dead, leaderless, no proactivity. It was very, very slow, and it was very difficult to watch. Walking over vision, 1xN, there's no one near. Okay, 1xN, honestly, that's on him. You should never be walking that far away from your teammates. The fact that no one is even on his screen is already problem enough.
Assume that's just off the resets from Dragons, so people weren't back out on the map yet. They wanted to get that wave before it crashed and gets punished again. 1xN, we've loved his team fight, we've loved his mechanics, but there have been a few times when he is caught between plays on rotations where he really shouldn't be. A little bit disrespectful there and deservedly punished.
Baron spawning LNG. They'll be looking for a big knight fight now to then go into that. 3 items for the Varus. The Usurper's a little cheaper, so it means you hit it a little earlier. Hai Chao hitting the 2 item spike. That's the nasty one. The Riftmaker Leandries, that's a recipe for destruction. LNG still a little bit behind in gold, but they have Soul Point hanging over TT. They have Baron. I don't think they're unhappy with the game state, especially since, again, Sivir has no flash. That will be no flash, but potentially, I think it'll come up just around the next dragon spawn, actually. It'll come up around that. You only fight around dragons. The flash will be up for every dragon fight, in fairness.
He's actually onto that 3rd item for LP. He's gone towards the Serpent's Fang. Actually really nice against the Seraph Shield. You'll probably have a Sterak's to contend with. You've got Locket Shield. Bloodthirst is coming through from 1xN. Actually, the Scion will have fairly big shields from the Soul Furnace. I think that's quite sensible, actually. I think it's a relatively heads-up play, especially considering your job this game isn't going to be to manage the Scion. You've got other people for that. You've got a Leandries Riftmaker. On the likes of that Aurora, you've got a Black Cleaver on the job, and you can afford to have slightly more niche itemization here, and I think that is going to be pretty valuable. 2nd richest person in the game, just behind 1xN. Feeling pretty good here.
3 items, Sivir. Okay, now is the time to see whether the Sivir pick can actually pay off, or whether it is just too much of a comp diff for Sivir to play. The peel and the front lining from TT must be exemplary. 1xN, finding a place to actually auto-attack is going to be very, very difficult. As a splash coming up soon, Dragon's coming up in a minute, Baron's on the table too. TT, the goal is use that Sivir flash to win the next dragon and the Baron. If you don't do that, I think LNG are, again, very, very happy. 1xN, 3 items, can carry. I don't think anyone else in TT has the damage to really carry teamfights besides him.
Yeah, setup especially because he's gone towards a more utility build here with the Seras, with the Ryalize, with the Zon. He's very safe, very frustrating to pick and to deal with. I think the Ryalize in particular makes the likes of the Jarvan, the Ambessa, the Nico even have a much tougher time. And it does make sense as an additional way to help keep the Sivir safe. But if the Sivir, for whatever reason, isn't safe, life is rough. LP, just ward frustration. They don't know that ward is there.
Somehow, well, they'll see it now. They'll see it now, which means that they've been walking on this the whole time. Flick back on Shop, that's huge. That's huge.
A massive advantage, and Sharpfang has to flash away.
Now no Flash Cataclysm, no HP to fight the dragon. 1xN doesn't blow the Flash either. Oh, that's a huge mistake from Xiaofeng walking too close to there. Great pick off by Setab.
They've got wards around to work with. Setab could potentially be in danger here as Setab looking to potentially get caught up by High Jab, but will decide against it. Baron is up. Are they just going to try and threaten that instead? Zucker still around on this bot side, but Dragon was secured. That's second for TT. Soul not going over to LNG. Pretty critical here. Just the on the hunt pop by 1xN. Won't need anything more, as we were noting. Zucker going to find Hoya, but again, I don't think the Sion cares that much about the Ambessa right now.
No, I mean, he's just been able to stack a load of armor. It's not really like the Ambessa, not the Ambessa, the Aurora's ever been put into their lane, which I think might be a mistake from LNG. I guess playing Ambessa into Taliyah in the side lane kind of sucks a little bit too, but you're not exactly achieving that much versus the Sion.
And look, the Sion here, of course, going towards a much more standard build. I watched Bowsy last night build Heartsteel and get over 11,000 HP on a Sion in the professional game, which was pretty ridiculous. Sion in particular, depending on what he builds, can just be unreasonably tanky. It can be quite difficult to choose how to itemize into. The Black Cleaver, I think, here from Zucker makes some sense when you've got a lot of armor stacking going on. Setup does eat quite a lot of damage here, actually. Doesn't quite have the Seraph's proc, but may well have to reset here as a result of just eating some incidental poke. Feather now in danger. Setup maybe forced to weave before keep people alive. When becomes lightning comes on down. TP's now flying. Setup still at half HP. Feather in danger. This is really awkward from Thundertorm.
Huge mistake. Feather walking too far. Didn't want to blow that flash. Gets caught out. And LNG, despite getting a great pick onto Xiaofeng to at least remove his flash, a lot of his HP before the last dragon, makes a big mistake.
There's a Seraph's proc as well.
Seraph's proc by that Nico. LNG now back into a great position.
Replay picture in picture. There was a TP that was cancelled by Sion. And now TP coming on in from Hoya. Looking to punish. LP in danger. Has a flash. Will it be enough? It will not be. Aki gets it. Thundertalk managed to strike back.
Great teleport in from Hoya. Hoya has had a very good game. Bug without. Baron's now going to be started. LNG, can they make their way into the pit without dying afterwards? 1xN doesn't have the ult to chase them down. Teleport behind them. This could be their play. Let's see if they can get onto the carries.
The Aurora to come on in. Xiaofeng being threatened. Roar of the Slayer comes on down. Aki still on that Baron. Trying to find the angles. Feather respawning between worlds we go. It gets a bit of damage onto 1xN. And it is a fair amount of work. Needs to find some people to hit to get that lifesteal back. Well, Boomerang Blade was Xiaofeng to look to find his way in. 1xN flashes out. Baron secured by the side of TT. They kill off the Sivir, but they have to burn a lot to do it. Setup low. Azure trying to get the blooming blows. The damage just not quite there until Hoya screams at the Nico. And across the wall they go with the Hex Gate. End up losing the Sivir, but it's in trade for 2, and they already killed off LP beforehand.
TT use the Sivir flash. They get the Baron. Sivir still dies, but they take the kills, they take the Baron, and that might be just what they needed. 1xN needs to be careful for the next while. He won't have flash for the Hex Soul, but what really sold this play was Hoya getting this teleport, getting the slow onto LP, even if he can't get in with the initial play because he was hit by that Varus ultimate, and that takes the AD carry off the board. It's still not a bad response from LNG. They get a good combo onto the Sivir. Spell Shield blown, the regular combo still takes over half of the HP, which is the power of Aurora into these less mobile carries in the backlines. Why it has been so powerful in all of our drafts so far. Looks like the clean feed's just taking a bit of a stutter right now as we get a freeze frame of whatever the heck happened there. Clean feed will have to be restarted a little bit, folks. That's on their end, not on ours. Hello, we'll just wave over to you as well, just so you know that it's not us, it's the clean feed. Yep. We'll figure out what's happening just after this point and hope that it refreshes soon.
Yeah, exactly that. We know that it was just the replay. We know the Baron's gone down. Here we go. I hear that noise coming back on, and we are back to live. Clean feed restored. Go back into game. Not too much lost there. Everyone's still up and alive. Baron's still rolling for at least another minute and a half. TT looking to get some value from shoving on in. Aki at this point as well with 3 items. And that additional Caulfield's Warhammer at level 16 is an additional threat, honestly, at this point. Might be what they need to help deal if the Civic goes down. Was certainly very important at the end of that last play around the Baron. Not had the easiest journey of late as Aki, and at the moment I start speaking well about him, he ends up eating a lot of poke and throws at the sad BMO, and I don't blame him. Setup, being threatened, and again, TT, got the Baron. Dragons in 20 seconds again, this would be sold for LNG. Hasn't really got all that much with the Baron, has he? A couple thousand gold and that's it.
So, TT trying to slam home the advantage with the remainder of that Baron buff. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. They're forcing the play, actually. That's one way to get some of the threat off of you.
And comes the ult. Hoyer's found an angle behind. Charging on forward. The unstoppable force is very deadly indeed. They kill off the Varus on the other side. 1x8 healing up a fair amount. Will finally go down, but tries to take Xiaofeng with it. Can't quite do it. 1-for-1 in the AD carries.
But LNG managed to get out, and Xiaofeng is still alive. If you can find anything to hit, he's looking to see if Krugs are there. No, they're not there, so I'll have to stick around on low HP. TT leaving their AD carry out to dry. The peel has not been good for 1xN, but they have got themselves an angle towards the Dragon. It is a steal or bust.
Feather trying to body block over the wall, trying to find the smite angle and can't quite do it on the drive-by. Dragon secured by TT, and the 1-for-1 will go out as a wash.
LNG do not get the soul. TT have that soul now. 1xN will respawn. Again, I'm not that happy with how TT have been playing around their own Civ. I think their logic has been, if we engage first, we can do the damage before they find the angle onto the backline. That's not really been true. See, that Hoyer missed the ult onto LP, made the front end of that fight a little bit slower than they wanted, and 1xN was a little slow to catch up, even with the ult running, so LNG could just go and dunk down onto him. Luckily, they have had enough damage. I think Aki on the Shinzao has been doing a serious amount of work. I did say earlier, I don't think anyone else has the damage to clean up team fights. Technically still true, but they're trying their goddamn best, and Aki has been, with an 8-kill Shinzao, is putting in some work.
He really is. And again, part of it as well is because LNG have permanently been looking with flanked with at least 2 people. It will be Haichao plus Xiaofeng or Haichao plus Zucker coming in from 3 different angles. And so TT, I think, are trying to take the approach of, well, we just engage on one of the flankers and try and break them apart. It has often been the way you deal with that, but if you're doing that in a way that's still leaving 1xN vulnerable, the flank is at least getting some value.
Severe Flash is back up. That is...
Hooray.
That is bad news for LNG. Bad news indeed. Sure, that was hidden as a minion. Did you count the minions? Also, still getting caught by that, Blooming Burst, not Blooming Blows. That one's the Lilia one.
Yep. They're both Qs as well, just to be really annoying.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's the Pop Blossom. No, that's the ultimate. Zucker was off vision, but they were mind getting out of flick back, actually. That's the damage. Pushing in towards this tower.
And again, this clear build, not the most damage heavy, right? It's gone towards pure utility. Got an orb in inventory as well to try and help cut some of that healing. Knows what the role is this game, but it does mean that actually some of these flickbacks aren't as scary individually as they might be in another game for a Talia. Hoyer in that mid lane does a whack on the wave with the decimating smash, but won't lead to all that much. Poor old LP here as well, 5 and 6. Found a couple cool kills to get that double kill earlier, but again, AD carries in general have had a big old target painted on their heads, and it's not been that easy to survive individually, and the peel hasn't been super consistent from either team.
Interestingly enough, by the way, folks, so something that you were saying earlier in terms of the Scion ultimate, apparently it's just the way that Scion ult interacts with corners, and there's a hidden bump on that wall, which affects the geometry. So while I think that Scion ult should be paused for, it was a full, if you look back at the clip, full 45-degree angle change, very unexpected, leads to the insta-kill of the Nico.
But it is a known interaction.
It is a known interaction. And that might mean it's not
a bug
able to be paused for. Now, personally, I think you should pause anyway and at least get that checked out, because that is unfair. If that is allowed in the game, I do not think that is a fair interaction. 1xN hanging over to his safe side lane. Haichao again just got his eyes onto him. It's all about diving onto that Sivir. Haichao has a flank. Can he get here in time though?
1xM coming on over. Indeed, Haichao's coming over. He might be a little bit too late. Joy's in danger. Has put a soft watch down, trying to find an angle. He's going to get into the fortunate range of setup. Picked up by 1xN. GA procced onto Aki, but that's not the value target of, say, 1xN. Public execution. Aki in danger, being run out by the two solo laners. They've got the GA on the other side of the decimated Flash will come on down and make that a significantly less even trade. Setup trades out there 1-for-1 with LP. Ends up being a 3-for-2.
3-for-2, but the Sivir is alive with Flash, and your engage onto them is gone. Sivir actually has a free play. Here comes the Sion again.
Choo-choo, Onslaught comes on forwards. Roar of the Slayer on the Raptor means Haichao's in danger, spotted out by the Farsight alteration. Where do you go? The cooldown at this point, not that long, and things like between or across the Veil. Forced to Flash. Gonna be in danger. Flash from Feather as he tries to get the pulverize angle and doesn't. There's gonna be a Blasco. Mornixen is waiting. Here we go. Boomerang Blade comes across. Where's he across the Veil? Surely gonna come up at some point, but it does not. And Mornixen brings down the bunny. Not the cleanest chase of all time.
Haichao will be dead for a full minute. He will be up for the dragon, but it's going to be a Baron started by TT. They'll have regen, respawn coming through. 1xN will have the damage to kill the Baron, but Zucker's coming over to try and stop him. Ult in 5 seconds.
Behind. Needs to be wary here. As Zucker can look for this Jaw also coming on up. They don't know he's there quite yet. Redemp's coming on forward. The headbutt away. Buy some time. Hoya now here, looking to body block. On the hunt comes on forward. Flash away. Jaw's still going to get that pop blossom. Trying to stay alive as 1xN. Will stay alive for a little while longer. Still healing. Still alive. Murders 2.
2 down, Haichao still dead, and they can go back to the Baron. 1xN will use that Vamp Scepter and his 4.5 item Sivir to finally get the game-winning play. Every flash on Sivir has to count, and that one certainly did. LP, it's an arrow or nothing.
There's a smite still in Feather's inventory of all people. Chains of Corruption will bring Setab off the wall. Won't quite die, though, and credit there to Feather as well. Really good fight, the bot lane duo. Managing to use every tool in the arsenal to keep that Sivir alive as everyone was jumping for the heads. Turning back towards the dragon. Xiaofang is up. You are down Zucker. You are down Jaw for at least a couple more seconds. Hex Gates will help, but I think it's just going to be Soul. Hextech Soul as well to Thunder Talk Gaming.
Yeah, just another confirmation, folks. Apparently, the Sion ult completely interacted. It's just dumb as hell, and I shouldn't be in the game. Just the way that it is. I know that I keep going back to it, but that genuinely did change the game. It was the first real winning angle for TT. Now they get themselves Hex Soul. They have Baron, LNG. More proactive game for them this time. I think this is a better showing than their last series. However, it's not a hard thing to do. They really struggled in their first game out. TT, credit to Aki, new player to the roster, player who's always had streaks and ups and downs. This is the heads of the Aki coin flip. Haichao on another flank, level 17, has himself 4 items, including a Death Cap and a Shadow Flame. He needs to assassinate someone, not on vision just yet. He is going on a wild old chase, though, to see if he can get something done.
Look for it wherever he can. Haichao, he is down that lane, not spotted as yet. Thunder Talk, remember, 1xN's got a GA now. Already sold to get that. Haichao being collapsed onto. On the hunt is going down. Between worlds is there, and 1xN just stands and delivers. He murders them all. Now the turnaround comes on through. Tries to pop blossom to buy some time for the job, but it will not do so. As LP gonna get hit by the redemption. And unfortunately for him, that means he burns. Zucker being traded out by Setup will get nowhere as the Ryalize slows is making his life utterly miserable.
The Hextech Lightning brings the Chillin back down to earth. A Lightning Rod. As they cannot finish off the Sivir, they lose game 1.
Hextech Soul for Thunder Talk, very apt indeed. They find what they came for. And the game got a little bit too late in the Sivir. Became a little too hard to kill. It was scrappy. Wasn't easy. Involved some weird old Sion interactions, but it's still a Thunder Talk game.
I'll keep going back to it. Flabbergasted that is a Sion interaction.
I did wonder whether it was an interaction. I really did.
No, I mean, the thing is, technically, yes, because of geometry and whatever. I personally think it is a...
It's a weird old thing.
What it is effectively... Sion ult is not meant to pop when you're at a certain angle with a wall, because it's meant to kind of drift around it to stop it being like really annoying when you're kind of just next to a wall and it kind of stops. It's meant to be like that.
Give it a bit more forgiveness.
Because of the hidden bump in that wall, because of the geometry, it will technically slide around the corner because the angle is not quite good enough. I don't think it should be able to deflect the Sion ult to that degree, though. That was ridiculous. I just cannot stress it more, folks. I think it's unfair. If it's not a bug, I think it's unfair and should be removed from the game.
I guess that would involve a resculpt of the map, probably, is what it would need to be.
That or some changes to the way that Sion ult works with corners, because that, genuinely, folks, that Sion ult changes the game. Because what ended up happening was Sion ended up ulting, pinging directly into the Nico, who had flash, who had ult, could have saved that team fight with a defensive flash ult. ends up dying completely, CC'd out because he goes straight into the Talia wall and everything's a full damage Scion ultimate, and it changes the game.
And you could support this level of really interesting insight and opinion by subscribing on Twitch with Prime or with a regular sub. Or if you're feeling really generous, you can try gifting a few, because we love our gifters here in this community. Thank you to all the Oilers in chat. Please do that if you're on the Twitch channel. If you are not on Twitch or don't want to subscribe, there is another way to support us, and that's Ko-fi. If we can have the Ko-fi link from someone in chat, I would appreciate it. And we can share that one around as well. That's a really good way to support if you're in other channels looking to support us as well. Please do also follow our various socials. If you're not following the Twitch, the YouTube, the Twitters, all those things, please make sure to go and do that. Helps us get things like sponsors, which would be wonderful to allowing us to keep doing this for all of you back home. Much love. Please do, in fact, give us some too.
Watch the highlights of the game now, as I mean, credit to 1xN, ends up getting a huge amount of damage despite he was public enemy number 1. Yeah. LNG tried very, very hard to shut down 1xN on Sivir. This is about as hard as it gets to play Sivir when you don't have the best peel from your team, actually, because the Scion and the Alistar, while they're normally good at standing their ground, can't really stop Aurora and Ambessa getting onto your case. And somehow still came up with a huge damaging game. Real credit towards Aki. I think that Xin Zhao was instrumental. When people were killing the Sivir, at least he was getting value by saying, okay, you kill the AD carry, let's start rocking some heads on the other side.
It's really good. And then, of course, you're looking at sort of a pretty decent amount of damage from the likes of Hydra and LP, and that's great. They did all right there, and it wasn't like there was no fight from LNG, but we just hit this point where what TT managed to get out of the fights they won, which is so much more than LNG. They got to Soul Point, but then never looked at the Dragon again. A few more of those replays. Aki also really good Xin Zhao game, actually, to be fair. In fact, I wonder whether Aki might be the one who gets the MVP this game, though I think also Feather on the Alistar, probably my other potential option here. Got caught out that one time slightly awkwardly, but otherwise was very, very clutch in a lot of these fights. And that early headbutt, the level 1, was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I think for me it's Aki. I think Aki was really, really good. I think his level... Oh, there was the headbutt level 1.
That's what I'm saying,
the level 2 gang from Aki, though, similarly very good angle. And CT, I think this is a hard draft to play. I mean, look at this again, folks. Look how it... You tell me that's fair. You look at that and you tell me that's fair. Now, the thing is, the reason I thought it was a bug initially is because there have been Scion ult bugs in the past where you could basically do 90-degree shifts on the ultimate. They sometimes required some exploits for that, so it wouldn't be the same kind of thing. But I knew that there were bugs with Scion ult in the past. If that's genuinely intended, that is so stupid. It is so dumb. I cannot believe that that is intended in the game. I think it's an unintended consequence of not wanting the Scion ult to feel clunky and very unsatisfying when it's going around walls and using it to drift and stuff, but that's just not okay. Okay, well, we'll wait until the MVP. I'm gonna go to the toilet, actually. Really.
Go for it. There's a difference in drifting or being a bump car. Yeah, there is a bit of that. Couple good games from Aki in a row, especially because right at the start of the split, again, he was looking really poor. He's had a really poor couple years, unfortunately for him. But so far, so good. Was a good Xin Zhao look in. What he can do. The game goes on. Do need to run some ads shortly-ish. See who our MVP is. Hello there, Caster Teddy. Not sure actually who the other caster is. Boom. There he is. Hoya on the Scion. He was very obnoxious this game. He was very obnoxious this game. Got away with the Sion interaction. Some really good engages. Yeah, I could see it. Good game for him. He's going to wind Alex up, I have no doubt. No doubt in the slightest. That's a lot of good picks, good decimating smashes. Just walks at LP here. In fairness, the Sion was very, very frustrating. So, you know, I get the angle. Hey, and thank you very much, Edlast, for the Ko-fi donation. It is much appreciated, guys. Thanks for coming and loving us. Back into the break we go. I'll run some adverts very quickly, guys. So we are ready to go. We'll take a little bit of a chill here while we can.
TCL X11H 0QD Mini LED 电视，纯净画质，细节尽显，细腻光影，丰富明暗细节，典藏级影像体验。TCL
红冠战马。 更受中国电竞用户喜欢的能量饮料，更受年轻人喜欢的中国能量饮料。中国电竞，当然有我，有能量，当然战马。
It was Hoyer. Cool. Managed to pick him. He was a very obnoxious Sion.
Okay, horse game.
Go play some horse game. I'm gonna get myself some water.
Horse game, horse game, horse game. Did you put ads on?
I did, yes.
Cool. Horse game, horse game, horse game. And we've got good stats for this. Cool. I'm sorry, players. You must be replaced with horses. Oh, Reaper, Arbuds, thank you so much for the and Edelhurst, thank you so much for the subs and Ko-fi. Not subs, the donations. It's very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking after us.
I don't think I saw any others, but thank you so much. Okay, see if Goldchip can do it again. Please no late start. Nice. We've got decent wit now as well. Is it legal to have an LPL day with 2-2-0? I mean, I'm pretty happy if it goes 2-2-0, honestly. And again, we're a late pacer, so we're an end closer, so we're expecting to be back at the pack until the end stretch, really. Rush isn't great. Do we get corner recovery? Auto adapt is good. I think as long as we prop one skill, we're normally fine. Like to have two to be safe. This is a G2, I think. But yeah, it's the extra race that we're running.
못하고 있긴 한데 멤버들이 워낙 좋아가지고 언제 잘해줘도 이상해지지 않는 팀이라 저희 할 거 잘하고 잘하는 거밖에 없는 것 같아요. 치카 선수가 이제 공격적인 챔프를 잘하기도 하는데 탱커도 잘한다고 생각해가지고
We haven't used... Oh, we've used Gold Ship's ult once, I think. It's procced once.
정글 같은 건 뭐 필요하면 부를 것 같아요.
There we go. There's the ult. So we got ult, we got corner adepts. And again, I'd like one more skill maybe. But again, this is the medium race, so we don't actually need the endurance ones as much. We have decent stamina. One more chance to proc corner. Straight away we can get on the last one too. We're stuck in the pack. I actually think we lose this one now. That's really sad. Yeah, we lose this one. That sucks. Yeah, we get absolutely blasted. We had no power. Oh, that sucks. We got stuck in the pack. Oh, there are tons of roster changes for Summer. Can you go over them for LPL? Yeah, sure. So anyone's Legend are the same. BLG are likely changing jungler to Shadow. Fun plus Phoenix changed out AD carry, so Jachi's there, and IE is their jungler because Shadow is no longer their starting jungler. IG changed jungle, so JDG is still on the roster, but is Wei is now starting. JDG changed top lane and support. Xiaoshu's top lane, Wink is support. W didn't change anything. Top East didn't change support. They changed with Weibo. So Hung is on Top East, whilst Crisp is on Weibo. Group Nirvana. Let's have a think. EDG added new support Palkia. LGD, no change. Savior is Xiaoya. LNG. No, we don't want to do that. We'll rest this time. LNG didn't change anything. Sorry, yeah, LNG didn't change anything. Ninjas in Pajamas, they changed 3 technically. Solar Kill was already starting last split, but Shanji's gone, Aki's gone, PP God's gone, Nio and Nakat are now starting Solar Kill on top lane. TT, they got Aki, and Ultra Prime, Baye is now playing instead of Wacko, so that's all of them. Ooh, good Rainbow training. Are we friends with everyone? Yeah, this is fine. First time you face. I'm not Onivia. I'm not Onivia, and we are just streaming on behalf of Onivia. Two turns from now, I can get one, and I can either get a. I can maybe get a race in. Ooh, we can do a G. Let's try doing a G1 actually. Let's try doing another G1. Then we can rest after. Time Stretch Haste is really good, I think. Yeah, Time Stretch Haste is good. And I think we can... Whatever, I just want to run the G1 anyway, because we're not going to get, like... we can do this, then a race, and I think it's fine. A rest, rather. It is the Haunts check. Okay, and let's just hope we can somehow work our way through the pack this time. We don't have great power, which is the problem. So we're struggling to get through. We should have gone for more power. But it's fine for now. It's fine for now. Okay, and now we see if we can break our way through the pack. How good is Shadow? Will he bring back 2024 BLG? We shall see. We might need to speed this up. Here's my favorite horse girl. I think that Medroma Queen, I had a really good campaign with her. She's been fun. Augury Cap has some really good skills. Jesus Christ, she's her ult is insane. We didn't get rushed this time. We got ult and we got corner up last time. We still couldn't make it happen. Gonna need some big skills. He also is good in that game. Who will win? I mean, I think TT look a lot more coordinated in that last game. I think their star power is a little higher, even though the draft was good from LNG. Okay, we might have to speed this up just because draft's happening soon. Quarter adapter's good. Ult's good. Warning shot and corner adapters. Yeah, that's good. Oh, do we have enough power for this? We're around the outside. Home stretch haste, please. Home stretch haste, please. Please. Oh my god, I don't think it's going to be enough. Just didn't proc the right skills again. Okay, whatever. Got completely outclassed again. Whatever. Get into that draft. Rise band away, center band away. What have we still got up? We have Rumble. We have no Talia. Pantheon's band.
I hear, Alex.
Thank you for the sub. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Player ever.
In question. Thank you so much. And we'll get ourselves into this game here. Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted there. Make sure we get back in time for other stuff. And we did run adverts. That's nice to know. Poppy, band away. A pretty common band versus TT. Both Aki, well, pretty much jungle support and top lane all play that. Vi, first pick by Xiaofeng. Trundle band, so you can't play the Trundle into the Vi and just ult Hiroshi ults in. You can't Shinzao. Jarvan's gone. Always have to give away some event Amazon's money to a worthy cause. Exactly, exactly. Use the bucks Bezos gave you. Or rather, you gave him to give back to people, I guess. TT, what's the plan? If you go Xayah, you have the anti-play, the combo onto, well, the combo breaker, I suppose. Annie blocked in instead. They could go Annie Wukong later on. You don't have to lock Wukong now. It's no way the LNG is going to plick it because the Vi's already been put into the jungle. First time chat as well. Oh, my days coming into sport calls. We love it. Yeah, no. Drop the prime, drop the chat. Always very happy to see that. So, I think they're looking at the Wukong later, and Aki is a very good Wukong player. It's one of his comfort picks. Do they lock it in now or later? They're choosing to lock it in now. No, they're not. Okay, well that's the thing. They didn't have to lock it in now. They go for the Xayah. So now they've broken up Annie Vi. They've also got an answer to the Vi combo in the Xayah, which means that 1xN will have hyper carry with some self peel, which is very good against that Vi.
And he is just a great Xayah player just in general. Of course, the Rakan is gone. I believe, no, it was last series. I apologize. So could still.
It's been a shorter day.
Yeah.
Feels like, oh, if this was like game 3 or something.
Yeah. I just remember I've seen Rakan today. I was thinking, it's not that. So actually, there's a world where Feather picks up the Rakan, and again, he is named Feather for a reason, guys. He's a big Rakan player when he gets the opportunity.
True,
so keep your eyes on that. It would be potentially quite a good duo here. Just in general, it's kind of been rising in priority again.
Vi Rumble, hell of a comp. This is a hell of a top set from LNG in general, actually. I understand going towards the Xayah and wanting that anti-engage, but Vi Rumble is a nasty combo. You can drop the Equalizer onto the Xayah and force her to ult, which feels awful for the Xayah, honestly. Because you're still burning, you still get hit by that first tick, and then they can still ult you afterwards with the Vi, actually, if you use it that way. DT, I think you have to lock the Wukong now. I mean, if you don't, I think that you can't contest that Vi nearly as much. Really? Go for the Xayah and Rakan instead.
I did wonder whether they'd take it before it got banned away and give a little bit more option to potentially some creative stuff later. Again, Aki has got 1 or 2 bits in his back pocket that are a bit unusual, but I think if he's going towards some of his lower tier meta picks, I'd be a bit more worried.
So you ban Wukong here?
I mean, yeah, obviously,
ban the Galio as well. Right, okay. That one's it. I suppose we were the top lane for Hoy, and Hoy does play the Galio top lane.
That's very true.
And then I think you ban the Wukong the next time around. TT, you should ban Rel here, I think. It's not banned already. It hasn't been played just yet. Just checking I was correct. Yeah, I think you ban the Rel. One of the better laning answers into Rakan. Can actually catch him out and then also give great engage for the Rumble after. I think that's a no-brainer for me.
Feels pretty sensible.
Is Nocturne viable for TT? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, very true, actually.
Nocturne Rakan is a hell of a combo. It helps the Annie do things. So yes, I think you can also get that Nocturne as well. So Nocturne, Wukong, both very good for TT. That's a good call out there, Peanut. That's a good one. LNG, I still think they should ban that Wukong, because Annie Wukong is a hell of a combo, and the winning 2v2 is very nasty to play around.
See what they want to go towards here. There is that Wukong ban. Thought it might be the case. Again, Aki has always found a lot of success on that champion, even when he has been in slumps. Needs to find something else here. Knows he's into the Vi, knows what the top side's looking like. So it probably is going to be, I would imagine, jungle pick unless they got something really spicy planned. The Nocturne that was called out makes some sense here. You've already got the Rakan, you've already got the Annie. Good
Vi really struggles to fight against the Nocturne. You can't walk into the Nocturne, right? And the Nocturne can dive back at you. You can turn the lights out for the Annie, who's coming on the angle for the Rakan as well. Very powerful that way. LP is a
Lucian player.
He is a very good Lucian player. He was good at
them.
Like LP's been a bit of a mercenary within the LPL. In fact, you know, he's been all over the place. However, his Lucian in the Lucian Nami meta was very good, and you can go that here if you want to. The Braum's better into the Nocturne, though.
It is, and obviously you can potentially do some really clutch things with Nami where you Tidal Wave to knock off the shield and then bubble on the feet to get the Nocturne knocked up. Like, you can do that kind of thing, but it's very niche. You have to be right next to them. You don't get to be frontline.
Braum, you just hit with a Q,
a lot more simple. Yeah,
hit with an auto Q, and it's kind of, you know,
basically what I'm saying is if you're good, you can do it. But not that Jaw is necessarily a bad Nami per se, but I think it does ask for quite a high barrier to execution. Ornn now locked in to join in with the Paranoia. The engage and pick is looking pretty nasty from TT here.
It is.
Assuming they can make their ultimate kill someone.
You don't have that much damage, though.
No.
If Xayah goes down, much like last game, if Xayah goes down, in that case it was the Sivir, you have real problems cleaning up fights, whereas TT have a Lucian, an Azir, and a Rumble who can all clean up fights. The Vi's, you know, not awful at adding in the extras there too. LNG don't have the most tank stats. Nope. You know, the Braum can block the Ornn ultimate. That is a big thing. However, if you do that, it means you don't have it for Xayah autos coming at you as well. Technically, I guess you put your shield behind you and you block both the Ornn and the feathers in the best case scenario. But I think LNG on the whole come out with better damage. TT, I think their combo looks more effective to me, though.
Yeah, it's a much more, like, thematic combo. Everyone's playing towards the same thing. Whereas LNG, it's a good comp, don't get me wrong, but it's that because it's a more balanced option. The Lucian's there for mid-game power. You've got the Rumble equalizer, you've got the Azir, you've got a lot of damage threats there. You've still got decent engage, but it's kind of a jack of all trades. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a master of any one particular style.
Coach's fist bump, head off the stage, and we go into what could be our last game of the day. Yeah, sure. I'm going to quickly restart the TikTok stream just to try and win over the algorithm once more. So if you're watching on TikTok, just come and, you know, click on the profile or something. We'll watch it again there. And yeah, it'll be exactly the same link anyway. And we'll start it again. Okay, let's get into game number 2 of LNG versus TT on LNG's team in Suzhou. On their stage, rather. TT looking to pick up their series win. I was, well, I assume they came. I didn't have the headphones on. And we'll see what happens. Anything at the level 1. Braum, of course, can do some stuff. Quite hard walking into an Annie with the stun at level 1 and the Nocturne, who's surprisingly good at early levels. He's not good at following you. Again, I have this conversation about Nocturne pretty much every game he's in, because Nocturne is not good at getting to targets. But if anyone ever stands in melee range of him, he does an incredible amount of damage, whether it's the lethal tempo or whether it's the Conqueror.
Yeah, it does involve him being next to someone, but he can do a lot of work with it when he is there. So, LP, Jaw, both in this bot lane, looking for some potential angles. 1xN throws out some feathers at the level 1. Bit of an interesting fight here. The Rakan, of course, needs to be wary of getting stunned up by the concussive blows, but by a lot of trades as well. Has that ability to just battle dance out, theoretically. At the level 1, you can start with the Gleaming Quill, so you've got a little bit more range. Lots of interesting things to track.
Few hits, double tap with them forwards. Good level 1 here. Going to the level 2 from LP and Draw.
Does get that Gleaming Quill heal at the very least, but there's that danger of the Lucian Braum. The Vigilance passive changes have given Lucian a few more duos that aren't named Nami, which has been quite nice.
For sure, because I think what they said is like, look, we don't want to see Lucian on his own, so we're going to give him the Enchanter bonuses, and then they decided what they realized, oh, actually now Lucian can only be played with Nami, and that duo was the only thing which mattered. Nami had to get nerfed out of the sky because she was so broken with Lucian, and that was a kind of a problem for that kind of balance as well. Worth noting though, I mean, 1xN is going to be ahead in farm. The wave is now going to be on their side. They can hold this that way. Aki can just walk at them now, force them off the wave. And while it was a good start with that Braum passive, on the whole, 1xN and Feather are still doing fine.
Yeah, exactly. Traded a couple minions for the damage in the level 2, which, you know, is not an unreasonable trade if you can then get value out of that priority. Too much. Aki's going to be down here. Understandable. The most volatile part of this matchup right now will be bot lane.
Level 4 for both junglers, doing their full clear. Scuttle spawning now. Bot side control has been there for LNG though, and Aki decides, look, I'm not going to stick around and fight for this scuttle. For this, there's no point going towards that. Trade for top scuttle instead. Don't waste any farming time. Quick scuttle take from Xiaofeng. He'll recall, get his first back of Longsword and Ruby Crystal, and get back out onto the map. Aki will do the same, but probably about 15 seconds later than him. So that does mean Xiaofeng has a window on the map now to do something before Nocturne can get the recall in and get something done.
Does indeed. Aki throws out the Duskbringer. Lead to all that much as yet. That Skull Crab was secured. Top side shove, understandable. While the Scion can match the Rumble a little earlier on, the Ornn just sort of suffers into Electro Harpoons and Flame Splitters and just has to cry about it a bit.
Yeah, Ornn, surprisingly good matchup into the Rumble because you can early on you can end up kind of getting some really good damage in his kind of active range before he kind of gets wave control over you. So we've seen actually a lot of Ornn's 369, for instance, the other day was destroying Rumble in the early levels. Only really gets to the point where, say, 2-3 items in when you've maxed out the Electro Harpoon and get stuff like the damage of the potential Rift Maker, where actually the Rumble really starts to take over.
Okay, I can see it, because obviously I'm seeing a lot of Comet poking, and I saw the Electro Harpoons, and I guess I'd seen some Rumbles just kind of just hit the Harpoons, and the Ornn just kind of sit there and have a bad time.
I think it's more on the Ornn player, really. If the Ornn is good, they should win the matchup early. You can see right now, I mean, Ornn is up in CS a little bit compared to the Rumble. Will have to take that first recall, of course, can use his passive to buy that Null Magic Mantle while he was already in lane, which definitely helps too. That's another big thing too. You can actually end up buying something like buy like your first MR bid after the first few waves, then back, and then come in for your teleport and be very safe with your itemization. He'll end up picking up the next minion on his 3. He's actually going to hold it at tower to freeze it for 1xN and Feather. That's nice. Get you a top laner like Hoya. Clipping the wave just a little bit, but on the whole, holding the wave up for the Xayah and the Rakan. They're going to pick up that wave, get a little bit more in. Slightly ahead in terms of farm compared to the Lucian and the Braum lane. Hoya will recall, get a teleport on to the bot side of the map if he needs to. Equalizer is used to actually push out that wave and make sure the wave is not frozen in favor of 1xN and Feather, or slow pushing him rather.
And you do sometimes see these early Rumble ultimates just for that. It's partly why Rumble is alright in some of those lane swap scenarios, and we do still sort of get them in this regard where that kind of 4 or 5 minutes people do switch for lane priority, picking up waves. Tibbers just drops in mid lane there by setup to try and force a bit of priority and allow TT to come and potentially fight over this dragon. Setup with the stun charge, in danger though, gets jumped out, gets a stun back, and manages to walk away. Haichao looking for the shuffle back, it's onto Tibbers and setup. We need to start running away. What's happening in the river? Hoya's now come on down, has TP'd in, gets a knock up onto the Braum, looking for some value. Call of the Forge God coming on down, and setup got the stun charge, goes down to the soldiers. Big knock up though on the other side as LP goes down to 1-for-1 as it stands, and the dragon stays standing.
Well played there by Hoya to make sure the shield was down before he cast the Call of the Forge God. Ends up putting TT somehow at a slight advantage. I would have thought that LNG would come out ahead there, but it's not quite the case. Triple stun, I think it's double Annie stun, triple Rakan knockup. Buys enough time to allow the Ornn to come into the fight. He gets the kill too. It's a bit of a problem for LNG. If the Ornn can get a little bit of gold, makes it a lot harder for the Rumble to hold that matchup, and it'll get Hoya through to his first item more quickly.
The good news for LNG is that it was Haichao who picked up the kill for them, at least. So the Azir, obviously a very good user of gold, scales in a lot of different ways. I'll look at this replay again, because Aki Meaty comes on over. What happens with this Vault Breaker? It's just... Oh, he gets the flash.
No, he gets it.
There we go.
It's good. It's just that the double stun into the triple knockup means that the follow-up is not that clean. Haichao gets the ult thinking that it will end up killing Satav quickly, and that's just not the case. They have to use a bunch of extra skills onto him. Satav walks a little bit too close, but the amount of time it takes to kill the Annie means that they can't really stay that long after. It ends up being a 1-for-1 after LNG chose the fight themselves.
And the right angle fight there. A right angle ult re-engaged there from Hoya. Very clean indeed. Gets himself very early to that Spectre's Cowl, as you were kind of noting, saying that can be very obnoxious if you get ahead of the curve. And as it sounds, the gold is pretty much dead even. It's 100 or so apart. It's just flickering between even and slightly LNG favored. So as far as I'm concerned, it basically is.
1xM, chugging along fine just himself. See, we are getting towards the point where LP on the Lucian will be able to take over mid lane. One item is really where you start to get a ton of work done holding mid lane. Grubs being started. Aki has Paranoia. Aiming through these grubs well. Great thing about Nocturne is that you can use that passive so effectively on them with that AoE heal, and it keeps you very healthy taking grubs, which not everyone can say.
The Umbra Blades, not to be confused with the Umbral Glaive. Always a big thing.
Yeah, there's also like Umbral Dash from Aatrox as well. There's a whole lot of Umbra. They like the darkness word.
It's a good one, to be fair. All the while, of course, worth noting that 1xN didn't turn up to that fight, was just laning against the Rumble, ends up about 10 CS, maybe more like 15 CS ahead, depending on how...
Also a decent amount of XP. However, that XP has now been taken out of Hoya, basically. Hoya is half level down on Zerka. I mean, again, Hoya, fine. He ended up getting that first kill. He's 10 CS down, he's XP down, but he's up in gold. And if he gets that first item, he's still happy. And he's not getting blown out in terms of XP either, right? And he'll be happy enough to get towards the point where he's getting those masterwork items through to his friends.
What he can provide value for. Of course, those ornaments can be pretty scary, especially the Ornn is just not threatened in the early game. The scaling of the Ornn is a bit more deceptive than sometimes you kind of credit for, just because the value of ornaments just coming across the whole team is really, really good, and especially when you're saying, hey, maybe a little shy on the damage. The Ornn items just give you that extra bump where sometimes you need it. But people like the Annie and the Nocturne have a bit more burst. The Xayah, who's going to be required to pump out a lot of DPS, get a bit more space on that. And again, I don't know how easy the Xayah game will always be when you have to like throw out feathers and play at a relatively short range into Rumble, Azir, Lucian.
Yeah, no, it's a hard game.
Can be a bit tricky.
That being said, 1xN played a very difficult game out on the Sivir last game and still made a good amount of impact in that game, despite the fact that TT weren't in the best position with that draft. 1xN, I think it's an easier draft in some ways than the last one. Sivir into Jarvan with an Aurora is pretty nasty. Hang on, there might be a pick over the wall. Here comes the fire.
Baby. In they go. Flashing forward, set up, flashing away himself. Stays alive. Another turning it around with the Paranoia. Takes a Fisher over the wall. Bought some time, but there is Feather as well, looking to get some value onto that Rumble, who has rumbled in the jungle too hard and goes down.
Nocturne gets the pick onto the flashless Zerka, who tried to use it to follow up on that Annie kill. Satav makes it out alive. Yes, uses the flash. They have the Ionian boost, though, so it's on a lower cooldown. The LNG don't get the kill, and TT pick up the pieces. Aki, there were questions about how he would perform on TT, because he came in from a bad split on NIP. He's a player which has drawn a lot of flack over time for being very, very streaky. Worth remembering, though, this guy has had some great upper-tier moments on the likes of OMG 2023, going in towards NIP in the last iteration as well. And he's had, I would say, a good series today. So initially, good pick up over the wall. Braum using the stand behind me, actually, to give the extra resist so towards Xiaofang. But right here, manages to flash out, turn out the lights. Braum doesn't manage to get the kill with the ultimate. Uses that over the wall, and they've just way overinvested.
That ends up picking it up, so... sad for Aki on that front, but hey, you'll take the kill where you can get it, and an overplay from LNG leads them a bit awkward there. Too much to be seen as it stands.
We're at one item for almost everyone now as well. Hoya will be getting that likely on his next return back to base. Nothing to fight over just yet. 2 minutes till Dragon, 3.5 minutes till Herald. TT, a team which I have a lot of admiration for, I suppose, in some ways. I've got a soft spot for TT, that's what I want to say. A team which has always been plucky. They've had a difficult year. Beitron left them, and it left them without their leader, basically. Beitron obviously went on to BLG, didn't achieve as much there as he would have liked. He did make a finals, did make it to MSI, and made it through to top 4 at that event, but BLG have very high standards, and not really what they wanted. and TT were left rudderless, which for me, it's quite hard to take in some ways because players like 1XM, like Feather, who are, you know, very new to the LPL, all things said and done, it's 1XM and Feather's second year within the LPL. They are prodigies, I think, which we will see more of in the future. But it's hard to really judge them now because this team's had to rebuild mid-year with one of their most important pieces gone. They parted ways with UCal, who went over to the LCK in off-season proper between 2024 and 2025. Of course, that was mutual, and it was hard to see UCal go, who was the flag bearer for the region, not the region, for the team for such a long time. And now they've started to try and build again. I have a soft spot for them, and I do hope that they can make something stick together. On the other side, LNG, they have kind of lacked that spark for a little while too. They're similarly in a rebuilding phase.
See how it all works. And again, rebuilding has been a bit of a weird byword for the LPL this year. We've seen a lot of panic switches, random switches, rosters not working, drama behind the scenes, and again, coming into the summer, a lot of big shifts. No team really is keeping all the same players they had in spring, with realistically only exception being anyone's legend. I think everyone else has made some shift.
Yeah, Team WE and anyone's legend, they've stayed the same. Pretty much everyone else has made changes. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if LNG changed anything from last split to this one.
Xiaofeng was there?
Mate, it's pretty hard to keep track of like 16 rosters.
I know, I'm having a moment.
Especially when LNG only played 5 best of 3s last split, being in Group Nirvana. It's actually quite hard to remember that one. Oh yeah, Draw roaming in.
Oh, nice little flank angle will force the flash off LP, who does not have mid lane control.
Now, Hoya's dropped the top wave 4. This dragon's going down. Hoya could teleport back up towards top lane, and Niitu's going to walk his way up there too. Has the Kanik Rukken. He has that first item. Little worried that he's left a bit early now, though. The Ornn isn't here.
TP right back where they came from. Ornn also TPing in. Feather potentially in danger against the battle down, so hit by the Glacial Fissure. But now in comes the Ornn Horn. Aki gets to go on forwards and they blow up LP. The flash blown earlier is hyper valuable, and Thundertalk pounce. The lightning strikes twice for a double kill.
Draw is not doing enough with this shield to block the Braum ultimate. It's going to be 2 kills to the side of TT. Feather's going in for another knockup. I'm not sure there's no follow-up beyond that, and indeed there won't be. It will be Dragon to TT, 2 kills to them as well. And I'm really questioning the positioning of both LP and Draw in regards to each other, because the Ornn ult is going in, as you were rightfully saying earlier, that 90-degree arc, going in from one way, then pushing it to the other side of the fight, so Braum can't block the reactivation of it either. LNG are not stopping Hoya having impact. He's having a great series here. MVP game 1, Ornn, massive value game 2.
He's doing it during the paranoia, so it's a 90-degree shift while you can't damn well see him. It's a nightmare to track.
Yeah, very topical for Nocturne as a champion, really. Use it your dreams. He is the sleep paralysis demon. So we'll go back into this again. I thought Hoya had left a little too early. He teleports in though, the paranoia comes in. Don't quite get the stop on the culling, but yeah, Lucian's just burned that flash. And look at this ultimate. The Braum doesn't get the shield. I don't know whether it was used earlier. Maybe they thought he wouldn't be there. The Draw not using the shield to block the Braum, the Ornn ultimate, is a huge difference maker here. TT really getting their CC down.
Don't get me wrong, Haichao on this Azir, something he's very comfortable, very confident on when he was one of those kind of up-and-comers. This was one of the picks he was finding a lot of value on after a fair amount of CS. They're starting up the Herald right now, and I think TT go over the wall, see what's going on, but decide, you know what, we're not in a position to fight this, we'll give that one up.
Also, hello Esther, one of our regulars in chat as well. Hello everyone who is a regular in chat. On time, we're equal opportunity helloers. Feather going to spot out the recall. Not going to be able to stop it. This was the recall of the animation split apart as the door is flown off to the side while we're walking. So, okay, remember, has the Kanik Rukken, happy to take quick trades like that. And this is one of the reasons why the Ornn can be a real problem for the Rumble around the 1 item mark.
Again, as the game goes on, it becomes trickier again. And before some of those items are built, you can hit a lot of those Electro Harpoons and Wave Control and all these things. But for now, Hoya's having another very good game.
Yeah, he is also similarly a streaky player. TT have a number of individuals which have ups and downs. Setup can also be included in that list. Feather's going to have his recall stopped. Paranoia, level 2 now, means that the range is increased. It's increased the range. You need to play like the Exorcist theme or something. Tell you, oh, speaking of that, I was watching, I hadn't watched it for a while. I watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe again yesterday, and it was, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It's, okay, I'd say less good on the second watch than the first one when I knew the twists and stuff. Feather's caught alone, I'm sorry, I don't really think they want to pick him off though. How's going to be summoned to the top side? Haichao's going to quickly drive that into the turret. They'll get themselves first turret of the game, and feats of strength now going to be down to the next objective.
That will be interesting, actually. And of course, because TT have the grubs, they won't be able to trade that out. But Hoya should be able to at least get the turret here, just not the first one. That's where I was trying to go with that statement. Xiaofeng, though, paranoia pop, will not quite jump. They've lost vision, but now they've found another angle. It's Haichao's in danger, forced to flash.
Didn't want to ult in case it was spell shielded. Flashes for the shuffle instead. They'll get something out of it. Not the ult they were really looking for, but they'll take it, I guess, given everything.
It's a minute and a half until next dragon, so I think
it'll
probably be up in time anyway. It's level 11.
And also, because that ultimate's going top side, LNG weren't sending anyone bot side to deal with the push. Hoya gets a outer turret kill, so he's once again ahead in gold compared to the matchup against Zucker. He's really happy with how this game is going. The Ornn, yes, down a little bit in terms of XP, but it's a water under the bridge now at this point, really. TT, 1,000 gold ahead. I think it's fair to say that they do scale pretty well. The only issue is for TT is if they lose the Xayah in an unexpected kind of freak pick or a really good combo from LNG. If 1xn goes down, the damage goes down with it.
Or if we start hitting the point where you burn Annie ult, Nocturne ult, Ornn ult to kill off, say, Jaw, and that's it. And then suddenly Azir consistent damage, Vi consistent damage, hell, the Rumble, the Lucian get to start turning things around. Then you get problematic points. And we do sometimes see that with those kind of really big wombo combo comps. We only start getting one kill and take it to do it.
Forced to flash here.
Didn't mean to curse you like that, mate. I was joking. Don't go dying like that. Without the ult being popped, and now the equalizer comes on now. Feather.
Good discipline. Very good discipline. Could have pulled the flash, could have pulled the ultimate, just needed the ghost. They're going to walk up again. Jordan needs to be careful. He doesn't have shield.
Yeah, about to say he doesn't have his resists anymore and does not enjoy that in the slightest.
So Braum often goes 3 points in Q and then maxes the shield afterwards, but he's still only level 7. He's not going to have more than, you know, 1 point, 2 points into that E. And that's a good flash blown by TT. Has the spellbook, he'll get another summoner in its place. Dragon spawning now, though, and LNG without equalizer, without culling, won't really be able to fight this. They'll have to find another play to make.
Indeed they will. Aki now going to start attacking that dragon a little bit. This would be feats of strength for them. Doesn't look like we're going to have any contest. Xiaofeng over on his Grom, saying, look, we're giving this one up. Get some shove, we'll play to scale. And in fairness, they've got that option if they have to.
Dragon easily taken. DT still again maintaining a gold lead at about 1,000. Most of that being on the ready carry. Mid lane is over to the side of Haichao. We see this a bit from Annie players, though. As long as Annie gets the 2 items, she's fine. You can definitely have games where Annie gets a lot of farm, gets a ton of value. But it's still completely fine to say, look, Ornn gets the farm, Xayah gets the farm. They're more important than me this game. That's one of the reasons why I think Annie's been high priority. Great early game, options in mid and late game. You don't have to strap yourself into one style.
No, you don't. And again, also, Haichao's just lane quite well. They picked up a lot of farmies ahead of the 10 CS a minute mark right now. Pulling a bit of a Chovy. We had the 11 CS a minute. Azir is becoming more and more common out in the world. Atakan about to spawn. Thunderdog thinking of starting it here. They are. Here we go.
Okay, so Atakan started up. LNG, they'll have to go through vision to get here. TT, look, this is still throwable. They are only 1,500 gold ahead. Teleports come in. Atakan's going to fall low. LNG, do they? No, there is 5 members. This is under half HP. TT could potentially rush this now.
Featherpool now coming down to 3k. Can they find a way on in? Where, oh, where is the jungler? Down to 2. Taken. Nice pullback on the feathers. Now looking for another engage. Zucker can potentially find a good equalizer. Sets up with the stun on 2. In they go with the paranoia. Still trying to get the kill. Does get LP. Aki might well be trained, but another stun comes on down and prevents the fall of the soldiers slide away, but to what avail? LNG, though, begin to turn it around as Haichao and the flame spitter come on through. Haichao still doing some work. Maybe needs to put some more soldiers down. Just can't do it because 1xn murders more.
They don't get the pick onto the Xayah, and Xayah cleans up. 4 for 2 in the fight. Atakan and LNG playing the game without vision and without knowledge of that Atakan. The objective goes down. They can't contest. It'll be a mid turret as well. This game just fell off the cliff's edge for LNG. It was a 1k lead before, goes up to a 3k lead, plus the tower, plus the Atakan bonus as well.
All start. Hoya seeing a bit of an engage, and they go on in, and I worried about a potential equalizer turnaround, but set up with that flash. Didn't quite catch Haichao, but otherwise it was pretty fantastic.
But, I mean, Vi is already kind of zoned off. 2 members have been caught out too. The fight gets split, and LNG just don't have enough left in the tank for the combo at this point. 1xN ends up ulting, so the Vi doesn't get the knock-up on the pass-through. Gets a ton of feathers down. He's running the Conqueror, so he gets a ton of extra stats as the fights go longer as well. He's just very cleans up shop.
Yeah, because again, often you see the lethal tempo on the
It's a bit split. It's a bit split,
especially with Rakan, actually, because you can get a lot of value out the level 1 with the W and stuff, but decides, I think, this time around for the Conqueror and getting a lot of value as extended fights is required.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Conqueror's still good, right? Because you get a ton of attack speed from your W anyway, so it's like, well, I'll just get the better stats and tend to give you pseudo lifesteal. Paranoid pulled again, going on to the flashless fight.
Oh, baby, and the unspeakable horror comes on down, the battle dance, the grand entrance, the quickness, the combo comes on through, setup was jumped on, but the Ornhorn is here. And unfortunately, this brass band is playing you out at your funeral. Nice kill, and a double for 1xN.
Yeah, the soldiers just there as a funerary procession for the Emperor of Shurima. Rumble will get a turret on the bot side of the map. It is technically a trade, but they are still down a little under 3,000 gold. Inner turret will get taken as well to put them back over that 3k mark. Ornn items are coming in. 1xN had that upgraded Essence Reaver for that fight. 5-0-2 on the Xayah. And LNG, while I think they have been more proactive than their last series, and I'm glad to see that, they are clearly not making the right plays and the right setup on the map. They don't have the right vision. They're split apart. Fire's without the flash, and it's a very good pick from Aki. That level 11 ultimate gives you much bigger catch radius. Manages to go straight onto that Vi, and yeah, Haichao pulls out the ult, but gets whacked from downtown by the Ornn. Uses the ult, which hits no one as its backsteps. Haichao, sadly for him, not Chow-Ving this game.
Just saying, I'm quite pleased with that brass band at the funeral line. I thought that was quite smooth on the fly.
What about the funerary procession?
That was also really good. We made a really good follow-up. We did a really good job there.
Sorry, sometimes we're pretty good at doing this whole casting.
Yeah, so they tell us.
And what we're doing right now is being very humble.
No, absolutely
not at all narcissistic. Occasionally. 2 minute until Dragon would be soul points towards CC. And yeah, I mean, look, you still haven't been able to force the summoners out of a 3,000 gold lead Xayah, who has 3 items, Infinity Edge, and upgraded Essence Reaver. So if you stack Conqueror, you're going to have even more AD. They're trying to catch out Hoya. He has ult.
Don't know about this one,
yeah, me neither, buddy.
Paranoia now coming. Where are they looking? Potentially a Zucker. Sundis comes on forward. Very deep now from Aki. Backs away. Knocked up. Cease comes on through. That time the shield prevents the Ornhorn. Damage might be a bit far.
Oh, the stun!
But look at Xayah doing some work. The stun was good. 1 for 2 right now. Top and jungle in danger. It's potentially some value coming on through. They lose Aki. They lose Feather. But at least kill off Haichao. Messy from Thunder Talk.
It's still a good fight from LNG for sure, but the stun from Setup stops it from being any worse. If Haichao had been able to catch the Xayah after that play, I think it would have been a potential turnaround for LNG, especially with Baron just around the corner. Maybe they could push in and look to set up around that. Dragon is available, though. LNG will try and rush down here. TT don't have a jungler right now. He'll be up in 15 seconds. TT will have to play defense of the objective and see if LNG try and retake the pit.
1xN, no flash, no ghost, no featherstorm. Very risky standing forward. The sword gets the root and gets half of the HP of the Vi.
On the other side of it, no Vi ult. And 1xN says, alright, you can queue into me if you want. You don't win those. Upgraded boots now as well from the Feats of Strength. This Xayah has tons of stats.
Haichao just TP topside. What are they looking for? Are they looking for tier 2? Are they looking for Baron?
I think they want tier 2 into setup for Baron. Dragon is being potentially taken by 1xN right now. He can just take it by himself. In fact, he just slaughtered the Dragon by himself. He can walk up with, again, the upgraded boots, giving him next a little bit of blah 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 damage.
I just watched Rumble stand behind the wall on the minimap, try and E over it, I think, to try and get the steal away. Valiant effort, but of course against the feather pull from the Xayah, quite difficult to get.
Dude, 1xN is going to have so many stats. Don't be surprised if you see an E taking about 2/3 of the health of someone now, or maybe a half a HP bar. You have 3 items, you have Ornn upgrade giving you more AD as well, and you also have Infernal Dragons buffing you up, and the Conqueror if it's stacked too. 1xN does get completely blasted here, the ult's forced early, and that's why I thought Haichao might be able to make the big play. The stun arguably saves the game here, saves the fight.
That would have been 1xN down.
That could have been the road. Could have been the road where he flashes to get the AD carry. Not quite able to do so there because of that stun. Setup saving his AD carry.
Clutch stun. Again, we said he was going to playing a bit more of that utility, and he's still getting a decent amount of farm here, but again, he is behind Haichao in that regards, but still, Now in a very scary spot. Finally, Zucker's taken a bit of a lead here versus the Ornn, up a couple thousand gold.
He got that side lane play where he can get the tower in the side lane, whereas Hoya's just been continually coming to the plate. I will say though, Hoya still getting XP. It's given out a second upgraded item now of the setup. The Bloodletter's Curse has now been upgraded as well. Hoya going to get found out by Vi. Takes a bit of a chunk. Tanky enough though, doesn't really care about it that much. Baron at the angle. Aki on vision. I think TT needs to be aware that this is a very common concept within League. If the enemy team has been playing around one side of the map, they will leave wards. You know that Haicha just pushed out top lane. They're going for the engage.
Oh, here we go. Paranoia's down. Doesn't get that much value till quite yet, but the fear's still there. Flash over for the stun setup again. The Azir is confounded and taken out as 1xN is the one who confirms the kill.
And there's no counterpunch. With the Azir down, I don't think they have the damage to take a team fight. They must contest this anyway. It is all on the back of a big equalizer and that Vi ultimate.
Needs to be good. Remember, all the shreds from the Baron can still get scary. Thunder Talk wanting to place one out. The Ornn coming on down though. Braum Shield to knock up. As the Vi will try and find a way back in. Flash away from Xiaofeng, exhausted. Equalizer comes in, LP goes on forward, but what do you do as this Lucian? You killed off at least a ward. The Grand Entrance just shy. We'll at least get out alive. Vi charging up the Vault Breaker won't go over the wall.
I have not talked much about Lucian this game, and it's time we did. Lucian, 2.5 items to Zaya's almost 4,000 gold down. LP, I called him a good Lucian player in the Lucian Nami meta a while ago. LP has been destroyed this game. Xayah has been so much more impactful. I think part of that's a draft thing, part of that's a resources thing where a lot of side lane farms have been given to it, but this Lucian is just not impacting fights, and poor Azir here can't get anything.
Every time I see it, but Darth Vader's very disappointed. That bounty hunter
disintegrate.
Goes for the disintegrate. At this tier 2 bot fight, minute and a half to solve. Baron still rolling. This Xayah is ungodly fed.
I mean, you don't normally see a DPS check on a tower, but 1xN just took that tower in a single wave by pressing W. Like, watch, he'll do the same here. Look at this. This is insane. 3 grubs, a bunch of AD extra from the Masterwork item. They are not prepared for the amount of big structure damage that Xayah's doing here.
LP finally resets alongside Xiaofeng. They won't quite get the inhibitor. A little wary of a potential collapse, and I think that's probably fair. Level 16 now for 1xN, so that Feather Storm. Going to be an increasingly reliable cooldown.
I love the Molten Shield going on to 1xN there too, giving him a little bit of extra movement speed. You don't often expect that from the Annie, but if Rakan goes forward, activates Xayah's W, and then you get the Molten Shield and the Ghost. This is like a Peregrine Falcon of Xayah's.
She's real quick, and just a little bit of extra defense. It's no bad thing at all. Setup just get caught briefly there. Doesn't lead to all that much. Hoya also at this point very tanky. A lot of the pen items just haven't been able to be bought. You've got a Black Cleaver and a Bloodthirster or Bloodletter.
Sam, there is a mortal reminder on Lucian. It's still doing that much damage.
Yeah.
So
just so that won't get picked up.
Sam, it's even worse because when I saw that damage, I thought still a 2-item Lucian. That's a 3-item Lucian doing that amount. Hoya has a ridiculous amount of stats. Remember, he's given that, the Black Cleaver over to Aki in terms of the what was it called? The Obsidian Edge is what it used to be called, I'm pretty sure. The Masterwork item. Every time he gives an item over, he ends up getting an extra 10% HP, armor, and magic resist. He is hyper scaling. One more level until he gets an extra 40% total, I believe it is. All in all, teleport in, trying to fight around the dragon right now. I just don't see how LNG have the damage, and TT could actually just leave this and take an inhibitor if they really wanted to.
Don't need it. Hoya's going to pick up that turret, still has the TP, and remember, with the Ornn coming from an unusual angle, the Ornn Horns, the Call of the Forge God, could well be there to melt LNG down into their constituent parts.
See how strong the anvil of TT is.
The triple knockup afterwards. You can do no wrong. There's the Forge God coming on in. And unfortunately, they are smoked, delivered into the waiting arms of hell.
Smelted and quenched. LNG have been sent back to the slag heap. TT crushed through the fight, and Hoya, I think he's looking at a double back-to-back, a double MVP game back-to-back, and TT starting off this split 2-1, a good start to split 3 of LPL. Very confident team fighting from Thunder Talk.
That is nuts. I mean, it's very hard to talk about anything else here, because Thunder Talk, again, the first game was a little bit closer. It was a harder game to play out from the draft. This one, the composition, we said we liked how thematically in sync it all was. The side of LNG, that particular theme, that particular genre was a damn horror story. Certainly a horror show. Xayah gets 2 feds. Ornn is a monster every dive, aside from one for one top side. Pretty much all TT all day. Thunder Talk will put LNG down another loss. 2-on-1 now with Thunder Talk. Revamp roster, new jungler again. Looking a little bit more like themselves. How far can they go down here in Nirvana? Welcome back, one and all. It's a 4-0 day. Relatively short. We get a nice chill one, Alex.
Yes, nice short day at the office there. TT will be very happy with that performance. It looked a lot more confident than their series versus EDG. Personally, I think that actually just shines EDG in a better light. I think EDG are looking like our strongest team currently in Group Nirvana. It is going to be a double round robin this time for Group Nirvana. So we had 2 teams drop out. We've got a little bit more leeway to have double round robin in the lower group. It was only 5 best of 5s per team for the bottom 6 teams in the last split. Bottom 6 teams again now, and its group ascend has shrunk a little bit from 10 teams to 8. And LNG back to the drawing board again. It was more proactive today, but the precision and the team fighting power was just not there. I really dislike their approach towards macro and objectives.
Now, before everyone leaves because the games are over, 3 things I need you to do for me. Number 1, follow the channel you're on. Number 2, follow all the other channels. That'll be the Twitches, the YouTubes, the TikToks. Follow me as well. I'm an Initialise cast on all those socials. It really does help us keep doing what we're doing. The more numbers we have, the more visibility we have, the more we can do this and get things like sponsors. Step 2, the bonus power for all of you out there. If you've got that capability to Twitch Prime, to regularly sub on the Twitch channel, to do the same for me, if you've got that capability, even my days, that would be wonderful. That would be great. Really does help us keep in business. Similarly, if you're not a Twitch viewer or don't really use that platform, consider donating to the Ko-fi link. We had a couple donations earlier today. It does make a huge deal. We'll make sure that link goes in all the chats because it's a really good way to help supporters. Is there anything else that I need you guys to join the Discord? There you go. Alex is all mine. Just stay in touch with the community. Makes a huge deal. If you see any cool clips, shout us out. Basically, we want to keep doing this, but again, it's just the 2 of us, and it's quite hard to do this because we've not done a lot of this before and a lot of growing streams, growing brands. It's a hard old grind, so thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, folks, well, that'll do us for today. Sam, you going to be streaming?
I'm not because I have got to go pick up the book and I've got some admin to do. I would stream normally because it's Supervive launch day.
Oh, very cool.
Back out and live properly, but I think I'm just not going to have time, which is really frustrating.
No, well, I guess I'll stick around for the MVP then, and the highlights. It's been a short day. No, normally don't stick around for it. We'll stick around for the highlights, and then we'll go about our merry way.
TikTok. I'll end the stream on this one here. Thank you very much, guys, for coming and saying hello. It is much appreciated. Managed to get about 60-odd viewers in there, so going a long way up from the 10 or so on both series.
Yeah, I think we're going to start restarting the stream between games, basically. Start it as we get in towards game and draft, because it's just so much easier to get the algorithm working that way.
It is.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and yeah, we'll stick around for the highlights.
Much love, guys.
Horse game. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh wait, no, I should. No, it's 54% is failing. That was a mistake. I forgot about the I did, but like I made a mistake at first. I like the unique masterwork names as well. I think it's lazy to remove them, honestly. What do I do on the beach thingy? Can be to power. Yep, sweet. Go for power. Oh, sorry. Let me just turn this off and make sure we see these graph. Yep.
Not bad.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. We got like top 3% of TikTok like league streams, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think for your size as well specifically, which is really good.
Really cool. Yeah. Okay.
Good news there. We take those wins. We'll put the laptop into the death of shutdown. How's your run?
Yeah, no, make sure
I'm gonna get another glass of water. I'm gonna go run out and get my book. Cool. Come back from there. Enjoy watching a bit of horse game. Are you gonna stream the horse game for a little bit? You might, mightn't you? I know you're like.
I don't think people will actually stick around for that. I want to make sure that like 8 average viewers are still up. What the heck happened there? Ooh. Oh, it's because so what happened was, okay, be really careful with that, Sam. When you turn the laptop off, the capture card.
Oh.
You might have just crashed my PC.
I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah, because it stops the capture card having like a feed.
Okay, Jesus Christ, that was close to crashing my PC. Yeah.
That's actually good to know. I did not know that. I apologize.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Phew.
Yeah. Okay, folks, I'm actually going to end it out here because I don't want my PC to die. But thank you everyone for joining us.